employees their jobs. They've been fired for not getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Wall Street, Dow futures up 360 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 254 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make one free phone call and learn your best price from nearly a dozen highly rated, price-competitive companies? Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote Life. For example, George is 40. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino. And believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For a free quote, call 800-523-3771. That's 800-523-3771. 800-523-3771. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has arrived in Moscow for a meeting with Russian President Putin to talk about what else? Ukraine.
Germany has often been seen as one of those European countries that is willing to have a dialogue with Moscow and doesn't want to pick a fight. Of course, the big card that Chancellor Scholz has in his pocket, if he chooses to use it, is the future of the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline. That pipeline from Russia to Germany, which has yet to come into action, but which Germany's Western friends would very much like to make sure is part of a sanctions package should Russia choose to further invade Ukraine.
The BBC's Paul Adams in Kiev. Kamila Valieva is headed back to the Olympic ice at the Beijing Games for the individual competition. Hours after details of her legal defense in a doping case were revealed, lawyers for the 15-year-old Russian skater argued that contamination from heart medication her grandfather was taking was the issue. Townhall.com. The Lone Star State is suing a social media company.
The Attorney General of Texas is suing Meta, Facebook's parent company, because the social media site's policy of using facial recognition technology violated Texas's privacy policies. Although Facebook has discontinued using facial recognition, Attorney General Ken Paxton nevertheless is charging Meta with, quote, tens of millions of privacy violations. Kim Norman reporting.
One body has been recovered so far after a small plane crashed in the ocean about 4 miles off of North Carolina's Outer Banks. The Carteret County Sheriff says a search for 7 other people who were on board that plane goes on. Got on Wall Street, stock futures higher ahead of this morning's opening bell. The Dow futures up 353 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to a morning without Mike Winters. No, I ain't he. That wouldn't be me. No, Mike Winters, once again, feeling the ills of the world around us. We live in a real gross world, y'all. I mean, with COVID, with all the other nonsense going around. Plus, there's stomach bugs and there's like sinus stuff. And Mike's got this cold thing going on. Basically, when you live with a teacher, the teacher brings home what the kids bring to school, and then whoever lives with the teacher gets what the teacher brings home. So it was inevitable. It was going to happen. But here we sit on a Tuesday morning, and it has been one heck of a morning. So, spent most of this morning, about 20 minutes this morning, literally ripping my house apart looking for a shoe. Looking for a single shoe. Because I don't know what happens. I have no idea how she does it, but as soon as we get home, it's like my daughter kicks off her shoes in a fit of joy. And then, like, one was sitting where it was supposed to be, where her shoes belong. The other one scattered to the four winds. Somehow it ended up under the couch. But like 5:20 this morning, I'm doing the military crawl on my belly, looking under every surface in my house, under my couches, under my sofas, under my beds. It was nowhere to be found, and I was losing my mind. So I guess I should apologize to all of my neighbors for the sounds coming out of my house at around 5:30 this morning, because I can't be held responsible, quite frankly. It was a little frustrating. But a happy Tuesday to you, one and all. Welcome to the second day of the rest of your life, a morning without Mike Winters. It's kind of a weird couple of days too, because we're coming off, and it feels like it was already 3 or 4 days ago. But yeah, the Super Bowl was 2 days ago. We were all hanging out on back patio, sipping on fruity drinks and watching Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg Still Try, which, by the way, that was an amazing show, and I love the discourse online. It's been absolutely amazing to watch the back and forth, to watch kind of everybody losing their collective minds, like, oh, it was the greatest show ever. Oh, I didn't like it. Prince was better. Can't we just all get along? Like what you like. Don't be a jerk. Literally, I saw people gatekeeping music yesterday. It's like, what? You're gonna tell somebody that they can't like a thing? Okay, you do you, boo boo. I'm just saying. I thought it was a great halftime show and a phenomenal game on top of that. But then yesterday was Valentine's Day, and hopefully, fellas, you didn't spend the night in the doghouse or on the couch, because I know a lot of folks. I actually talked to a lot of my female friends who really phoned it in, really messed it up this year. And it was actually really entertaining driving around town, because one of the things that I noticed was there's an influx of roadside setups, like everywhere. People set up with like folding tables with chocolates and bears and flowers sitting on top. The drive was real this year. It was pretty intense. I was driving down 2nd Street and I saw a guy waving a sign to have me pull over, and like, fellas. All right, fellas. It's a date on the calendar. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming up for months. For years. Since February of last year, you've known that Valentine's Day was coming up. You could have done anything. There's some dudes that were driving home like yesterday on their way home from work that saw those roadside stands and were like, oh, right, Valentine's Day, crap. And I'm pretty sure that their Valentine's evening was as such. Honey, I love you so much, I got you a stuffed monkey from a folding table in the Spanish language church parking lot. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But hopefully you had a successful Valentine's Day. I myself spent Valentine's with my Valentine, my 8-year-old, and fought her on trying to get her to eat her peas while we watched a Bluey marathon. So yeah, it was a nice Valentine's Day. It was all in all a rather pleasant experience, pleasant day, and hopefully you had yourself a pleasant one as well. Let me give you the rundown for what's happening today on this morning without Mike Winters. Coming up here in the 7 o'clock hour, around 7:15 or so, we chit-chatting with Miss Christina Arnold. That'll be happening coming up here in just a few minutes, wearing one of her hats, possibly for the city, possibly for the Travis County Republican Party. It's a mixed bag. We'll find out what's going on with Christina coming up here in just a few minutes. The 8 o'clock hour is going to be busy. Around 8:15 or so, got Miss Donna Oracion from ENMU Roswell. We chit-chatting with her coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, talking about the ongoing spring semester. As we gear up for the upcoming summer semester, it's time to start enrolling for summer. And yes, fall classes are coming up quick. Get enrolled while you still can. We'll dive into that coming up here in the 8 o'clock hour around 8:15 or so. Then around 8:45, we chatting with a representative from the Chaves County Extension Office, one of their many hats that they wear over there. We'll be chatting with them about all things agriculture, economic development, and the like. We'll get into that coming up in just a bit or so. And in the 9 o'clock hour, Mike sat down last week and had a phone interview with Mr. Ted Vigil. Ted Vigil going to be taking the stage this coming Saturday with two shows, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m., with the music of John Denver. Not just the music of John Denver, the look of John Denver, the feel of John Denver, I assume. But tickets are still available. $30 reserved, $40 VIP. You can get your tickets right now by calling 575-513-8119. That's 575-513-8119. Or go to Roswell Theater with an RE.com to get tickets and more info about Ted Vigil coming to the Roswell Community Little Theater this coming Saturday with two shows, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. It's going to be an amazing show. You are not going to want to miss out on this one, so get your tickets before they're gone. We'll play that interview with Ted Vigil coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. Plus, all your other hourly features, which, of course, include your hourly news, business news, Kim Commando coming up here in just a few minutes, Sean Hannity, and, of course, whatever else comes across our hallowed desk. Right now, at 13 minutes after 7 o'clock, let's get you up to date on the weather. Make a liar out of me, why don't you, computer? See, it only does the stuff it's supposed to when Mike, is here first. It knows Daddy's in the building, so here's the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Gusty wind for the next couple of days as a pretty strong low-pressure system moves through our area. Little blowing dust will be possible this afternoon. Otherwise, sunny. We'll be in the upper 70s. Clear tonight, down to the upper 30s. And then some gusts up to 45 or 50 miles per hour on Wednesday. Sunny and our high in the upper 60s. Cooler and partly sunny on Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 29 degrees around Roswell Way. Humidity about 36%. Winds out of the south at about 6 miles an hour. The barometer about 29.9 inches with a dew point of 5 degrees. Looking at a windy one today around Roswell Way. Sunny skies, 79 degrees for the high today. The winds are going to be a-blowing. Gusts out of the south, 20 to 25 miles an hour. Winds could get as high as 35 miles an hour today. And we are under a red flag warning, so bear that in mind. Gusts as high as 35 miles an hour for the rest of your Tuesday. For tonight, mostly clear, dropping down to an overnight low of about 38 degrees, so a little warmer, but the wind's still blowing tonight, 5 to 10 miles an hour coming out of the south. For your Wednesday, sunny skies, a high of around 69 degrees, windy, and a southeast wind, 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southwest 20 to 30. And tomorrow, gusts could get as high as 45 miles an hour. We are under a fire weather watch for tomorrow, so just bear that in mind. You got to be careful, by the way, when you say the words fire weather, because my daughter heard a meteorologist saying we have fire weather in the forecast, and she got terrified because she thought fire was going to rain down from the sky. I'm like, no, honey. It just means the weather it's possible to cause a fire when the wind is like this. She goes, okay. Not to worry, though, if we do get any kind of fire weather in the forecast, the rain and the snow should put it out. Thursday, we got a 20% chance of snow showers before 11 a.m. Mostly sunny with a high of around 48 degrees. The winds are going to be a-blowing, 15 to 25. Gusts as high, once again, is 35 miles an hour. Dropping down to 20 for the overnight low on Thursday night. Back up to 61 for Friday. 61 for Friday. 65 for Saturday. And 73 for the high on Sunday. Sunshine returns once we get back into the freaking weekend. 16 minutes after 7 o'clock. Going to pause, pay a couple of these bills, and hopefully after the break we'll be sit down and chit-chat with Miss Christina Arnold. After these on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Wilbanks Trucking Services is seeking dedicated, responsible, and committed professionals to join their team. CDL and non-CDL positions are available. Wilbanks Trucking Services offers comprehensive training, excellent benefits including housing, and opportunity for advancement. They understand the importance of family and maintaining a work-life balance, making your family their priority. To join the leaders in oilfield services, call 575-746-3618 or visit wilbanks.us for more information on career opportunities. Wilbanks Trucking Services is an equal opportunity employer.
It's a new year, and the progressives in Santa Fe are trying to get their claws into Roswell. Governor Grinch has her best buddy in Roswell running for mayor. In Roswell, we are proud of our families, our industry, our traditions, and our values. We can't let the Santa Fe gang take over our community. In the Roswell municipal election on March 1st, vote to keep Roswell open, to keep Roswell independent, and to keep Roswell free. Let's keep Kintai as our mayor.
This is Dennis Kintai, and I approve of this ad.
Nook's Asian Market brings the flavors of the East to you with new winter hours. The restaurant is now open 11 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and the store 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day. Be sure to get your last order in by 6:30 p.m. Delicious, authentic dishes, including a variety of Thai noodle soups, dried egg noodles, dumplings, and more, served at your table or to go. While you wait, browse the store with lots of fresh new ingredients like galunga, lemongrass, lime leaf, and Thai chili. Nook's Asian Market, South Main, Roswell. It's time to stock up on beef. Do it the most affordable way by buying a whole or half beef from Runyon Cattle. A whole beef feeds a family of 4 for nearly a year. Buy your meat in bulk for about $6 a pound. Skip the store and skip the wait lines. Beef isn't something that you should have to wait on. Stock up on New Mexico homegrown grass-fed and grass-finished beef today by calling Lisa with Runyon Cattle at 760-5655. That's 760-5655. Delivered to your home freezer. Roswell is our home. That's why we've all got to do our part to stop illegal dumping. Throwing your trash, clutter, or yard debris in the alleys, sidewalks, or streets is a crime, and it takes time and money to clean it up. Those caught dumping illegally can face fines of up to $500. You can help by taking your waste to the landfill once a month for free with a paid water bill. Call the City of Roswell Solid Waste Department for more information at 575-624-6746. Help keep Roswell clean. After all, do you want your kids to grow up in a dump? Fall in love and save this month at Roswell Nissan. Sweet deals across the lot so your wallet can feel the love. Get a 2015 Chrysler 200 for only $195 a month, a 2017 Versa for only $185 a month, or a 2012 Chevy Sonic for only $135 a month. 0 down, no payments for 90 days, and $2,000 guaranteed on your trade. So drag it in. Plus, stop by for a box of sweets and spin the wheel. Get a box of chocolates with a test drive and a $30 Pasta Cafe gift card with purchase. Fall in love at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,530 head of cattle sold on Valentine's Day on a higher market with excellent buyer attendance compared to last week. Stocker calves sold 6 to 8 higher, feeder cattle 3 to 5 higher, packer cows 2 to 4 higher, packer bulls $8 to $10 higher, 3 to 40 pound steers $220, $224, 3 to 400 pound heifers $176, $179, 4 to 500 pound steers $202, $220, 4 to 500 pound heifers $167, $176, 5 to 600 pound steers $171 to $202, 5 to 600 pound heifers $156, $167, 6 700 pound steers $161, $171, 6 700 pound heifers $149, $156, 7 800 pound steers $144, $161, 7 800 pound heifers $135, $149. Packer cows $80 to $89, canner and cutter cows $70 to $76, packer bulls $1 to $113, feeder bulls $75 to $85. The top half of the cow-calf pair is $1,100 to $1,350 per pair. Top half of the bred cows $1,000 to $1,200 per head. Now remember, this is the top of the market, and prices range down from this according to quality, quantity, condition, and feel. We do appreciate the business. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 21 minutes after 7 o'clock. Sean Smalls filling in for Mixmaster Mike Winters. And joining us in studio this morning is Christina Arnold.
City Council Ward 1 candidate. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. It's been a crazy morning, crazy couple of days, but we are making it work. It's a crazy time to be here in southeastern New Mexico. Election season. I mean, there's all sorts of opinions left, right, and center. Everybody's got something to say on social media. It's definitely an interesting time to be a part of the discourse. And of course, we're doing an election amidst all of it. So, City Council Ward 1 is the area you're running for, correct?
Correct.
So let's talk about how you feel about the city of Roswell. Obviously, there's some huge places that we need to improve. There's things that we're doing great, things that we need to improve. Where do you stand as far as like the city of Roswell goes, and what we can do to improve?
Okay, so that's a really broad question because you're talking.
Start broad. We'll laser focus in.
This is city government, so government in itself is never perfect, and it takes a nice mesh of the right people to make it perfect, and so that's something I think that is a goal that people should reach for.
Sure.
As far as Ward 1. I think the thing that I would like to really focus on, if elected, is crime and infrastructure. When I say infrastructure, I mean streets, because in Ward 1, these streets are a serious issue. We have some streets, and they're not what's the word?
Thoroughfares.
I wanted to say thoroughfares, but they still need some attention.
Oh, they absolutely do.
The curbs are dilapidated. It's pretty serious. So most of the people that I have talked to in the ward going door to door, when I ask them what is an issue that you really want me to focus on, it is repairing their streets.
Absolutely.
The historic district is a fundamental part of our community. It's been a lot of my history growing up. And so to me, good infrastructure, good solid streets, nice sidewalks, curbs, that type of stuff. It's not real exciting, but
it's necessary.
Oh,
See,
it is.
I'm a guy who, and this is going to sound silly, but I like to stay off the main streets. I don't like to drive second main, whatever.
Right.
I love the back roads.
Exactly.
So I'm driving down 3rd Street, and it's great until you get to any intersection. You have to drive over a giant speed hump of a road into a ditch, like on the other side of either side of the road. There's potholes.
Yep.
There's bad chip sealing that needs to happen. Obviously, these are all concerns, and there's lots of streets and roads in Roswell. But one of the things that, I'm sure anybody who's lived in Roswell has noticed is anytime any construction project is undertaken, it's a year, 2 years, couple and a half years before any progress is made. You look at...
Are you talking like from when they start the project?
I'm talking about
like funding and all that?
Funding, the going through the
whole
process
mechanism
of getting it approved, then the construction process. Then the finding the right. It's such an arduous task. It's such a long process.
So when I first started getting interested in public policy, I of course thought, well, why aren't the roads fixed? Well, to me, the biggest thing that you can do to benefit yourself is ask why. And you ask the right people why, and then you kind of learn. As I've said, I've spoken with Mr. Nahar, the city engineer, and kind of comprehend where the issues lie. And I do see that he focuses on trying to get our roads repaired. There are just certain speed bumps, should I say, that get in the way.
Sure.
Funding is a big one.
Yep.
A lot of these back streets that you're talking about, 3rd and the ones that aren't the... what's the word? Thoroughfares?
Thoroughfares. Right.
I almost have that backwards. I don't know why. But those streets that are main thoroughfares, actually, you can get state funding.
Okay.
And so for the little ones...
For the side roads.
The side roads, the city has to come up with that funding.
Gotcha.
And so it creates a dilemma, and it's a matter of what we can fund and what we can't, and when we can fund it, and... there's always different reasons why things aren't happening. I know it's nice to think that someone is inept or, something's wrong, but it's not. It's a system that probably needs to be looked at, but it's also a system that comes from the state down too. So,
right. And it's something that you don't really think about it in the everyday, goings on until you're out there riding the roads, until you're out there getting stuck in a pothole, until you're just seeing some of the issues that that Roswell is facing, and just wanting something to be done about it. But as you said, there's like 16 hurdles you have to jump, a lot of red tape that you have to, cut through. And there's a limited amount of funds. I mean, just admittedly, there's only so much money that can go around, and it's all about allocation and figuring out the right way to spend it.
But I will be honest, yeah, there is limited funds, but you also, the city council is the ones that funds Mr. Nahar. And to me, the infrastructure is one of the main roles of the government. And so to me, that's where, funding needs to be focused. Now, I understand there's several different funds. There's a ton to fund. But I think that if the people are asking for better roads, that should be a priority.
Absolutely, it should.
Now, unfortunately, I have to get in there, figure out, what other priorities are there. But to me, and roads are one of my priorities.
And one of the other things you touched on back there too, and this is a big one, is crime. And I've seen this statistic tossed around on social media. There's no idea how much truth there is to it, but a lot of people saying that per capita we're similar to Chicago as far as violent crime goes here in Roswell. I mean, it's sad. Because I've spent most of my teen and then adult life in Roswell, and so I've seen it really go from this place where I wanted to raise my kids and start a family to where it is now. I mean, what can be done?
So this is what I've found, because I did talk to quite a few people on this one that were in the criminal justice field. Just because, to me, I can talk to one person, but I need perspective of about 6 to really formulate an opinion.
Sure.
And crime is not just more police. Crime, in order to fight it, it has so many different aspects that have to be hit simultaneously for there to be an effective.
I agree.
So I look at a connection between your courts, your policing agencies, your government agencies, and your people. And so those have to flow real beautifully in order to limit crime. Here in Roswell, what I have ascertained from the people I've talked to is that we have kind of the same people committing crimes, but therein lies the problem of a revolving door.
Recidivism, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so those things are kind of put in place by Santa Fe because it's the judge. The cops catch them, the judge takes them, and then they have to follow sentencing rules, guidelines from the state,
right?
Which puts them back out. So also you have new criminal justice reforms that are coming out, and I understand the purpose for some criminal justice reform, but at the same time, we have to really make sure that it's an effective method, because when you do alternative sentencing, if you're not treating the root problem, which I believe is mental health and drugs, then we're just going to be going in a circle. It's just like the definition of insanity.
Exactly.
And so I know that there's been a lot of talk about pulling funding from prisons and shutting. That funding needs to go towards mental health facilities and drug treatment.
I 100% agree. It lies mostly in mental health.
Right.
And drug abuse is absolutely a huge and prevalent problem, but a lot of drug use starts and stems from issues with mental health.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to tackle the root. You have to hit it where it starts, and it really is. It starts at education and intervention from a young age.
Yes.
And finding that, seeing that issue and nipping it in the bud, so to speak.
Yeah, and our policing forces here in Roswell actually do a really good job at trying to make sure that they are prepared. But there again, like I said, they're just part of the definition of insanity, because all they do is catch, and it has to have a little assistance from the community, the court system, and the state. So it's a big issue. But also, when I say the community, I think it was, I hope I'm saying her rank right, Sergeant Gracie Fresquez, done a great job with the neighborhood watch. She has increased, I think that from 4 to, I think she has 13 or 14 now, different neighborhood watches in our community, in our city. She's done a stellar job. But that's another thing that's very effective. If people know that these neighborhoods are being watched, they're less likely to be active in them. And so that's a good program. It's deterring it. There's many methods you can deter crime from your neighborhoods. And so to me, just making sure that my neighbors are aware of what's out there is kind of where I'm talking about, okay, Ward 1 is going to approach fighting crime like this.
Right. And you tapped on something right there. Is there's not just one simple solution to get there. We have to put the dominoes in place in order to knock them all down to get to that solution. And it's not going to be an easy fix or quick fix.
Mm-mm.
We can get Roswell back to where we used to be. You can make Roswell great again, so to speak. It just takes a lot of a lot of steps in the process and a lot of meeting of the minds. We have to kind of agree on some things. I think that's where a lot of our problem lies. Is we've been butting heads nonstop for the last half decade.
Yes. Well, I see a public that has emotions. And, one of the ways to really fix that is you can depend on your leaders to do certain things, but you have to engage as a public as well. You have to be in the room telling them what you want.
Right.
And after the fact isn't effective, it has to be while it's occurring. So if you want a strong community, the community itself has to engage. The community itself has to be involved.
Absolutely. And we have a good group of people that are involved, but it seems like it's that same definition of insanity. It seems like it's that same group of people trying to move mountains, essentially, while the rest of the community just sort of like sits around and complains about it.
Right.
Instead, I think more of us need to actually get out and be a part of the process.
I think it's called an 80-20 rule, where 20% of the people do 80% of the work. Yes.
Yeah. That sounds about right. But while the 20 are carrying the 80, it's fine. Nobody's looking.
Right.
Just don't drop the ball, and we'll all be fine.
Yes. Well, yes. But that 20, if they drop the ball, then that 80 is coming after them.
Boy, howdy is it ever. Yes. So March 1st is the election. Early voting is now open. You can vote at any of the early voting convenience centers around town, including the main courthouse there at 1 St. Mary's Place. I believe they're also at the Chaves County Court or the main courthouse downtown. I'm not totally sure. I think there's one or two places here in town that you can vote. I'll pull up the list of voting convenience centers here in just a moment so we can.
I think it's definitely at City Hall.
City Hall.
I can definitely say yes on City Hall.
Absolutely, but yeah, get your early votes in and get those. Make that happen. But yeah, March 1st is the day to make your voice heard. And it's definitely an interesting race this year. It's been one of the more hotly contested in all the different categories that I remember being a part of. It's very fun to watch the discourse, watch the arguments go back and forth. I like the whole thing. That the whole thing's basically been boiled down to the length of a pool.
Right. Well,
it's amazing to me.
That's actually, especially when we have some really serious issues and we're, like I said, a pool that was decided years ago and, people had the opportunity to communicate at that pool.
Over again.
Yeah, about the poll. It's really interesting because for people who know me, I'm a person who doesn't concentrate on problems. I concentrate on solutions. Mm-hmm. And so I don't get emotional about a lot of division issues or anything. I'm seriously focused on what needs to be done or what could be done or finding out what could be done. I'm very driven. So I do see the division and I do see the discourse and the but it hasn't really riled me because I'm really focused on Ward 1. I'm not focused on the mayor's race. That's not my It's not my issue. And so it's really interesting because I'm trying to think of I just lost it. I think it was my echo.
The focus it needs to be on specific, like you said, like on your area. You can get that broad set mind of I'm working with the city. I'm working with with the county now, but your focus is on your ward.
Yeah,
and that's where it should be.
And you make decisions that do affect the whole city as a whole. I do recognize that. So yes, I'm going to be very sure that if elected, I recognize what I'm doing to the city as a whole.
Sure.
But what my goal for my neighbors in Ward 1 is to really focus on those key issues that I pointed out. The third one was economic development, because I do believe economic development would bring in the funding to help us with crime and infrastructure.
Absolutely.
And of course, in economic development, infrastructure is also a part of that. So to me, that's why infrastructure and public safety are two main responsibilities of government.
Absolutely.
And what I really believe that I can bring to the table for Ward 1 is working to keep a focus on those issues while serving on city council. I recognize that I'm just one of 10. And so, what kind of power do you have? I can tell you I'm going to go in there and we're going to have unicorns and rainbows within a week, but that we all know that that's not the case. Right. But my goal is to keep the focus on Ward 1 on those three issues. And that's what I can, pledge to do, is to continuously bring those topics up, continuously point that out, and work towards better solutions for Ward 1.
It can't change things overnight, but being a voice in the room is what's going to have an effect.
Yeah.
And one of the things about the campaign process, about going around flyering, handing out pamphlets, knocking on doors, you meet people, you hear stories. You're in the public.
Yeah.
You're talking to people. You're hearing all these folks that they're giving you their stories and saying, these last couple of years have been rough because of this, because of that, because of the pandemic, because of job loss, furloughs, and it's been hard all over. But you're hearing these stories and they're basically kind of leaning on you to be somebody to do something about it.
Well, and that's actually, thanks for segueing me, because you kind of segued me into the next area that I was going to point on. Because I believe that the role of government should be limited. I believe where the government cannot, the people should. And so that, to me, connecting with my neighbors, getting out there, door knocking, sending letters to them, talking to them, making sure that they have one consistent with me, and that's my phone number.
Right.
Because if they will reach out to me with issues, I want to be able to connect them with community organizations that can fix the problem if the government cannot. Because that has been a lot of my side work, and I have a business that allows me to work in the community. So I work to build those relationships. I call it super connecting. And so if people have an issue that I may not be able to do anything about with the city, then I may be able to help them and connect them to the right organization where we can work together. And that's why I say it's the people coming up and resolving our issues where the government does not. Mm-hmm. Because I really want to keep the government within its role. As we've seen within the last 2 years, our local government has been really good regarding trying to stay out of our lives with COVID. Yep. We got state and federal encroachment. And so to me, I think most of the people want to be left alone by the government.
Right.
And so that's kind of my goal, is to keep the government in its role and work with community organizations.
I think one of the things you tapped on there is having the knowledge of the resources that are available.
Exactly.
Because, the government can only do so much. But if you have a list of, okay, well, let's look at this avenue. Mm-hmm. Let's look at that avenue. There's 3 or 4 different ways that we can go about solving any number of different problems. As long as you, like you said, super connect, make all those different connections and resources.
That's key. The biggest thing is I had once actually worked for on a campaign for a gentleman named Bazell, and he actually has he's built and sold 2 electric companies.
Really?
Yeah, he's an electrician. So he's out in Socorro, Berlin area, but he actually told me that it's not important about what I know. It's important about what the people I hire know.
Like that.
So that's why, to me,
I surround yourself with.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So to me, I may not know much, but I do know who to call who does.
It's not what you know, it's who you know. That's key. That's key in a lot of different areas, actually. That's absolutely, and it's great to know that you're of the people.
Yes.
That you're not you wanting to get into the office and just kind of lock yourself away and do your time and make your voice heard, no one else's. You're out there. You're pounding the pavement.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and I have a good super trooper. My dad always drives me. We spend time, so that's how we spend our time. He's on Saturdays we've been spending it just driving around, door knocking and hanging out.
So if folks in Ward 1 want to find out more about you, where you stand, how do they find you?
Well, I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
It's Christina for Roswell City Council.
Okay.
And you can always call me. I could give out my number, but everybody might be driving. I've tried to do that, and I try to memorize it. But my number is 505-353-6669. So I try to put that out there because I am definitely open to conversation. I'm open to, solving issues. I've had several people call me off of some of my stuff, and I've had some really great conversations with the neighbors of Ward 1. Mm-hmm. So it's actually been fantastic. I love engaging with the community.
And that's a great way to get specific, areas of interest or specific to know where the concerns are. If maybe somebody doesn't feel comfortable talking to you in person about it, they can reach out to you on Facebook, maybe via Messenger, give you a call. There's plenty of ways to reach out.
Yeah, I had one lovely lady call me, and she was actually, has been part of the historic district since she was really young. And the historic district was a big part of my youth as well. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of people who are passionate about trying to really maintain that. My dad talked about it a lot when he, was a child, and he kind of tells me what he remembers. And so, even on the east side, there is some work that needs to be done. I do see some potential for improvement on the east side. As far as I understand, they're putting like a tourist park over there. I'm very excited to see that. And
a little bit of a gentrification kind of the 3rd Street area, the where the 3rd Street station used to be and all that.
Yeah. Well, if you ever picked up patterns of zones of transition, you'll see that everything reblossoms, and I think that area is prime for some, a lot of opportunity.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. And I think that we've gotten to a point where there's room to improve now. We've kind of you've shaken it down to kind of the base, and now we can kind of build up on it,
Well, yeah. And one of the things I want to make sure that I stay on top of is we have to keep Roswell growing, and because there's a lot of requests for growth. If you ask people, they want growth here too. Right. But I want to make sure that in creating the funding for growth, we don't actually neglect our areas that we already have.
Right.
And so that's where I'm for growth, but it's kind of it's pointless if we don't take care of what we already have.
Exactly. It's exciting to get a new place in town. It's exciting to get a new thing, a new toy for a minute, but let's not forget to play with the toys that we have.
Yeah, because then it makes it worse and we have to spend more money to repair them.
Absolutely. So it's 505-353-6669 if you want more information, or Christina for City Council Ward 1 on Facebook, correct?
That's right.
All right, go look them up, and again, make your voice heard, folks. Vote. It is coming up March 1st. Early voting happening, City Council or City Hall, and I believe the Chavez County Courthouse as well. There's plenty of places to get your vote out there, but make it happen by March the 1st. Ms. Christina, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely, thank you. Good morning, Roswell.
Wake up. Get on up. We appreciate having you. 16 minutes away from 8 o'clock on your Tuesday morning. Let's get you up to date with some local news.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. A former southern New Mexico private school principal is now charged with sexually abusing a minor and allegedly trying to groom other children. Alamogordo police arrested Trevor Lavalace, this acting director of the Legacy Christian Academy, for the alleged assault of a 12-year-old child. A judge is expected to hear pretrial motions in the case by the end of this week. The New Mexico Department of Transportation announcing it'll be offering in-person car seat inspections from nationally certified child passenger safety technicians in Eddy County this week. The inspections from 10 a.m. to noon on Thursday at the Artesia Fire Department and from 3 to 5 p.m. on February 19th at the Carlsbad Police Department. Correct use of child safety seats has been shown to decrease the risk of death by an estimated 70% for infants and 54% for children. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Last week, a Utah college student killed his girlfriend with a lethal injection of heroin. He purchased it on the dark web. Now, I get asked this question quite often. Why can't we shut the dark web down? I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. The answer is simple. The dark web is all around us. It's all part of one gigantic network, using off-the-shelf computer parts and servers, just like any of your favorite websites. There is no entrance, there's no off switch, there's no central control. Now you have to remember, The internet was built to provide a nuclear war-proof communication system for both the military and scientists. But dark web websites are not indexed by Google or any other search site. They don't advertise, many don't use a name. To find them, you just have to know how. The government watches most dark websites, and going there can get you in big trouble. So don't. And get breaking tech news at commando.com.
I know we probably have a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners listening right this very second. The Commando community is a hardworking group, so today I want to share a tip that will help your business run even more efficiently. Are you ready? Ditch the laser printer and get an Epson EcoTank Pro. This durable printer is my top pick for small businesses. No more being stingy with your marketing materials or the beautiful project plans you've cooked up. The EcoTank Pro uses big ink tanks and comes with a ridiculous amount of ink, so you can print in vibrant color without ever buying pricey toner cartridges again. Spend that money on something else to power your business. Maybe a nice espresso machine. Employ indoor skydiving. Schedule a brainstorm. The Epson EcoTank Pro. Just fill and chill. Pick up your EcoTank Pro at Best Buy, Office Depot, Office Max Staples, and at Epson.com/EcoTankKim.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. And just remember that some of you share your birthday with Kanye West. Let that sink in. It's June the 8th, by the way. Don't ask why I know that. Let's get you updated with some weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Gusty wind for the next couple of days as a pretty strong low-pressure system moves through our area. Little blowing dust will be possible this afternoon. Otherwise, sunny. We'll be in the upper 70s. Clear tonight, down to the upper 30s. And then some gusts up to 45 or 50 miles per hour on Wednesday. Sunny and our high in the upper 60s. Cooler and partly sunny on Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 29 degrees around Roswell Way. Humidity at 36% with a wind speed out of the south at about 6 miles an hour. Enjoy the calm winds while you got them, because they are going to be blowing heavy today. 79 degrees for the high with mostly sunny skies. Winds are going to be blowing out 15 to 25 miles an hour later on this morning. Gusts as high as 35 miles an hour by this afternoon. We are under a red flag wind warning for the rest of today, so bear that in mind. Please extinguish your smoking material before you step out into the windstorm. Mostly clear and dropping down to 38 for the overnight low. Winds out of the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Sunny and 69 for the high on Wednesday, and the wind returns. Winds out of the southeast, 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southwest, 20 to 30, and gusts as high as 45 miles an hour for your Wednesday. And remember, like Ron White says, it's not that the wind is blowing, it's what the wind is blowing. Wednesday night, partly cloudy, dropping down to an overnight low of 30. And then the storms move in. A 20% chance of snow showers before 11 a.m. Mostly sunny, otherwise a high of around 48 degrees. Breezy with winds 15 to 25 and gusts as high as 35. Again, mostly clear and 20 for your overnight low on Thursday. 61 for the high on Friday. 65 for Saturday. And back up to a almost spring-like 73 degrees for the high on Sunday. 11 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Let's pause for a moment and get you up to date with the Chaves County Sports Report.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. The Goddard Rockets in charge right now in district for the boys basketball schedule. Goddard defeated Portales on Friday night by a score of 60 to 53. Noah Reese had 15 points. That pushes the Rockets' overall record to 15-9, 4-0 in district. Really, all it takes is one victory, and Goddard wraps up the district championship. They've got Lovington tonight at 7 o'clock. Last time they played, they defeated Lovington on the road by 5 points. Also, the Roswell Coyotes were in action Friday night against the Carlsbad Cavemen. That was in Carlsbad. Carlsbad wins that one 49-31. The Coyotes still looking for that first district victory. They've only got one more chance at it. It'll be at home against Clovis Friday night at 7 o'clock. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander.
New York City fired more than 1,000 workers who failed to comply with the city's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. That's according to the mayor's office. The 1,430 workers who lost their jobs represent less than 1% of the 370,000-person city workforce and are far fewer terminations than expected before a Friday deadline to get the shots. Mexico's president said Monday the United States' suspension on avocado imports and recent environmental complaints are part of a conspiracy against his country by political or economic interests. Mexico is putting forward a conspiracy theory after the U.S. suspended imports of Mexican avocados over the weekend, following a threat against a U.S. plant safety inspector in Mexico. On Wall Street, the Dow down 171 points. The Nasdaq fell a fraction, and the S&P 500 down 17 points. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman bringing you the Joy of Marriage Minute. We are the founders of the Joy of Marriage Ministry and Conference and have pastored Church on the Move in Roswell, New Mexico for 20 years. For the past 17 years, Joy of Marriage has been investing in and helping marriages, and we are excited to bring you this year's conference.
This year, we will be joined by author, pastor, and professor D.A. Horton and his wife Alicia, as well as Pastor Diego and Cindy Mesa from Abundant Living Family Church in California. We also have a special concert from Grammy and Dove-nominated Christian country music artist, Rhett Walker. This year's Joy of Marriage Conference will be February 17th through the 19th at Church on the Move in Roswell, New Mexico. And you can register online at cotmroswell.com.
So join us and experience the joy of marriage.
It's a new year, time for new beginnings, and time to get a new vehicle for your family. Richland Chevy Buick GMC and Richland Dodge Chrysler Jeep both have amazing New Year's deals on both new and pre-owned vehicles. Check out both Richland's lots, where you'll find a huge inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Or better yet, customize your new vehicle. Order it today and build the vehicle of your dreams. And with the Richland Brand Champion program, you can ride with confidence knowing you're taken care of long after the sale. Ride for the brand that rides for you. Richland, where service is always job one.
Fergalicious boys can keep you hot this winter. Fergalicious. Oh yeah, it's getting cold out there, and Fergie's Plumbing and Heating has what you need to keep things hot in your home. They can come by and winterize your pipes and check your insulation, and you know they'll do it with nothing but love. Oh yeah, baby. Call the Fergalicious boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating at 622-2660. When you need it hot, Fergie's is on the job. Fergalicious.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. Try all 293 on the guy who keeps borrowing money from you. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 6 minutes away from 8 o'clock on your Tuesday morning. Sean Smalls, Inside Your Radios, filling in for Mixmaster Mike Winters. He'll be back hopefully inside your radios, barring any kind of continued sickness, hopefully tomorrow. I keep saying that until it comes true. It's like rubbing a lamp, basically. Hey, Valentine's Day just occurred. Yeah, I know, fellas. You've got a whole 364 days to plan ahead for next Valentine's Day if you did manage to make this Valentine's Day happen. But one of the best ways you can show your heart is by donating blood. Vitalant, formerly United Blood Services, is in need. The blood supply here in southeastern New Mexico is at a critical level. So we are asking for you to help out if you can. Please donate that sweet vein gravy. Your next chance to donate is going to be tomorrow, actually at the Vitalant office inside from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Then they're going to be at Mesa Middle School in the Bloodmobile from 12 noon to 4 p.m. the next day. That's so tomorrow would be Wednesday. So on Thursday, they're going to be at Mesa Middle School. Then also at the Vitalant office on Thursday from 11:30 to 3 p.m. So 2 places you can make a donation. Plenty of opportunities to get that done. Then the next day at Eastern New Mexico Medical Center at the Mesquite Room from 9 a.m. to noon 30. So we're talking about tomorrow. The next day there's 2 places. Friday at Eastern New Mexico Medical Center, and then the next day they're going to be in Carlsbad at the Mennonite Church Fellowship Hall in Carlsbad from 10:30 to 3 p.m. Lots of opportunities to make that donation, and you will be making an absolute difference if you make that donation. Call or text Stephanie at 575-840-8178. That's 575-840-8178 with any questions or to schedule your appointment to donate some blood and help out Vitalant in this very, very trying time. Hey, save the date. Since we're talking about dates, Donna Blake Burchill is going to be signing books and giving a short presentation sponsored by the Historical Society for Southeastern New Mexico, presenting the book New Mexico Ghost Towns. And there's a lot of really cool ghost towns and ghost town stories here in New Mexico. I mentioned it on this show, but for those who are, my age or slightly younger, maybe a little older, you might remember the show Courage the Cowardly Dog. That's actually based on a place here in New Mexico called the Middle of Nowhere. We've got a lot of really cool, just middle of nowhere towns here in New Mexico that are always fun to explore. And Donna Blake Burchill wants to tell you all about some of those. That's coming up Sunday, February the 27th from 2 to 3:30 at the Archives facility there at 208 North Lee, right here in Roswell. It's a short presentation and a book signing event featuring the book New Mexico Ghost Towns by Donna Blake Burchill. It's a great chance to meet a local author and find out some great information about stuff that's seriously waiting for you right here in our own backyard. All you got to do is explore. It's one of the best parts about New Mexico is we live in a real cool road trip state. You are less than a day away from some awesome, awesome locations. All you got to do is get behind the wheel and take it out on the road, see what happens. But come on out Sunday, February the 27th, 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. at the Archives facility there at 208 North Lee, right here in Roswell, and join us for the book signing and presentation of Donna Blake Burchill's New Mexico Ghost Towns. It's a great chance to get out and learn a little something about the land of enchantment and how enchanting it can actually be. Hey, stay tuned because coming up next hour, got a busy one for you. Around 8:15 or so, we'll be sitting down with Miss Donna Oracion from Eastern Mexico University, Roswell, on the phone, chatting about the spring 2022 semester, which is already underway. And we'll talk about stuff coming up for the late spring, the summer semester, and of course, fall 2022 is fast approaching. You better get ready if you're going to be a part of the 2022 school year. We'll do that in the 8 o'clock hour around 8:15 or so. Then around 8:45 or so, be sitting down with a couple of the representatives from the Chaves County Extension Office, possibly talking 4-H, possibly talking FFA, all things growing and showing. We'll be doing that coming up here in just a few minutes. And hey, if you missed any portion of today's program or any program, you can always check out the programs in their entirety at ksvptv.com. All you got to do is go to ksvptv.com, click on the Mornings with Mike Winters tab, and there you'll see all of our shows archived in their full, bold glory. And of course, Hard R, Mr. Tanner, he's hard at work, piecemealing the interviews out, and we'll have those up for you as soon as we can over on the 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook page. Stay tuned right here on Roswell's Talk FM.
Your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Inflation is surging and there is no end in sight. This morning we hear that wholesale inflation soared 9.7% last month from a year earlier.
In a sign that price pressures remain high at all levels of the economy, the Labor Department says its producer price index jumped 1% from December. Excluding volatile food and energy prices, wholesale inflation rose 0.8% from December and 8.3% from January 2021. Last week, the government reported that inflation at the consumer level soared over the past year at its highest rate in 4 decades.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Russian President Putin is hosting Germany's chancellor as diplomatic efforts to defuse the Ukraine crisis continue. Meanwhile, the U.S. Senate is considering a resolution in support of Ukraine's independence without actually imposing sanctions on Russia. Most Democrats say Hillary Clinton should be investigated by special counsel John Durham for her alleged role in the Russia collusion hoax.
A poll conducted last month found that 66% of Democrats say Mrs. Clinton should be questioned, according to a survey by Techno-America Institute of Policy and Politics in New Jersey. That's up 22% from October, when TIPP asked the same question, a sign that Democrats are getting increasingly concerned about Mr. Durham's probe into the early stages of the FBI's probe of Russian interference in the 2016 election. The percentage of Republicans who say Mrs. Clinton should be questioned in Mr. Durham's probe surged to 91%, up from 80% in October. Bernie Bennett reporting.
He's lowering the boom on the Freedom Convoy. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau taking the unprecedented step of invoking his government's Emergencies Act to deal with the peaceful protesters in Ottawa, looking to cut off their financial lifeline. Wall Street, the Dow is up 297 points, the Nasdaq ahead 245, and the S&P 49 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, I'm cute kid number 1. And I'm cute kid number 2. And we have been forced, you mean hired? We have been hired to tell you what direct lender FOMO is. So let's say you buy a new home, and maybe you use one of those big mortgage monsters.
Or someone your realtor or friend recommends.
And then a few months later, you hear us being forced, hired
to tell you about our mortgage team's direct lender advantage.
And then you feel like you missed out.
Because you probably did miss out.
And that is direct lender FOMO.
It's Ryan, and our mortgage team is an arm of a bigger company who is a direct lender, which means our company gets to use its own money and make its own decisions within its own walls. There's no middleman. This often allows us to get you a better rate on that new home mortgage, saving you monthly and lifelong money. We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Ryan Brackett, NMLS number 65233. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
No Olympic medals for the United States this morning in Beijing.
Americans come up short of the podium on Tuesday morning in Beijing. Women's snowboard big area was Austria's Anna Gasser, successfully defending her gold medal from Pyeongchang. Team USA's Haley Langland rounded out the competition in 12th place.
It felt really good to actually get to try a few and almost land some, and it makes me really excited for the next contest.
Free ski slopestyle Maggie Voisin placed 5th, while San Francisco's Eileen Gu earned a silver for Team China. Women's downhill skiing, Michaela Schifrin had another rough run, finishing in 18th place, over 2.5 seconds off the pace. And Americans Red Gerard and Chris Corning missed the podium in men's snowboard big air. I'm Denny Kapp.
The United States asking Honduras to arrest former President Juan Orlando Hernandez for his eventual extradition to the U.S. There are allegations of drug trafficking. News and analysis at townhall.com. A public inquiry is examining the wrongful convictions of hundreds of British postal workers accused of theft, fraud, or false accounting, all because of a faulty computer system.
Between 2000 and 2014, more than 700 postal workers were wrongfully accused, with some convicted and sent to prison. The mistakes represented one of the biggest miscarriages of justice in British legal history. The failures were blamed on a defective Japanese computer accounting system called Horizon that was installed in local post office branches in 1999. The post office claimed for years data from Horizon was reliable. In April, the Court of Appeal overturned the wrongful convictions of 39 people. Rhonda Rockster reporting.
D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser drawing fire for refusing to lift the capital city's school mask mandate. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy says that forcing kids, at least likely to get seriously ill from COVID, to wear masks is disconnected from the actual risk. Townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Ringing through it, flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel with and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2. I was just going to go with it, but I didn't think you were going to do it. But, all right, welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce
of a morning without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the second day of the rest of your life. Now get up, get at him, and do something about it. Yeah, Mixmaster Mike Winters was starting to feel a little bit ill as of yesterday. Kim, his lovely wife, who works in the school system, obviously, when the kids get sick, so does Kimberly. And Kim brought something home. Mike got it. And before he was going to get anybody else sick, he ducked out. And he's feeling the ills at home. He actually just checked in and said he's got himself a low-grade fever. But we do have good news. It ain't COVID. There. It's best news out there. They both tested negative. Both vaxxed, both waxed and ready for hot boy and hot girl summer. What I'm saying is, everything's on the up and up. It's just a cold. I love how in the age of COVID, you have to be like, no, listen, it's just a sinus infection, okay? I'm just sick and giving off germs in another way. I'm not pandemic sick. I'm just sick. Either way, it ain't fun to deal with. But Mixmaster Mike Winters, home healing, and hopefully he'll be back inside your radios and here in the captain's chair when he's back feeling 100%. We got plenty to get to this hour of the program. Coming up here in a few minutes, about 8:15 or so, going to get Miss Donna Oracion on the phone from ENMU Roswell, chit-chatting about the spring semester that is ongoing. Of course, the summer semester coming up. Fall semester is fast approaching. Obviously, graduation happening, financial aid things and advising as well. So we'll chit-chat about all things ENMU Roswell coming up with Miss Donna here in just a few minutes. Then at 8:45 around there, for a few minutes, we'll be chit-chatting with the folks from the Chavez County Extension Office. We'll have a representative coming on in, chit-chatting with us and getting us up to date on all things regarding the Chavez County Extension Office. More on that coming up here in just a few minutes. Plus, of course, all of your hourly features this hour, including, I believe, your town hall business news, your local news, and, of course, whatever else comes our way on this Tuesday morning. That's what I was going to say, but I completely forgot what it was. So I'm finally caught up on, I was going to say Mandalorian Season 3, because pretty much might as well be, but Book of Boba Fett Season 1. And I was pleasantly surprised, or pleasantly entertained. I will say it seems like when most producers, most showrunners do a season of television, it always seems like they put the most dramatic thing in the episode before the season finale. I mean, the season finale is big, but it's always that episode right beforehand that the big stuff happens. If you've never seen Breaking Bad, turn your radios down because this is a spoiler alert to a show that came out a decade ago. In the second to last episode of Breaking Bad, that's where you see all hell break loose. That's where you see, it was the third to last episode, I believe. That's where you see, Hank get shot and killed. That's where you see the official split between Walt and Jesse, and that's where you see things kind of really start to unravel and degrade from there. But it's that episode before the last episode. It was kind of like that with Boba Fett, in that, and again, I'm trying to do this as spoiler-free as possible. There was a character from The Mandalorian that was reintroduced in Season 1 of Book of Boba Fett, much to the delight of many, many Facebook Karens who just want to post memes all day. I'll let you ascertain which character I'm talking about. But that character was presented with a choice to go one way or another way, a choice to choose a path that character would take. And I was pretty satisfied with the choice that character took, because I really feel like it sets up continuing seasons of this almost ragtag team of, I don't know, do-goods, I guess, but just ragtag, different skills, different abilities, and each one of them coming together with bringing their strengths to the table. It's made for some interesting watching. So if you haven't seen it already, I fully recommend season 1 of Book of Boba Fett out on Disney+. Go check it out. Not a sponsor, but definitely a good program. 11 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's pause and get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Gusty wind for the next couple of days as a pretty strong low-pressure system moves through our area. A little blowing dust will be possible this afternoon. Otherwise, sunny. Will be in the upper tonight, down to the upper 30s, and then some gusts up to 45 or 50 miles per hour on Wednesday. Sunny and our high in the upper 60s, cooler and partly sunny on Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 38 degrees around Roswell Way. Humidity about 29%. Winds out of the south at about 3 miles an hour. Very calm right now. Enjoy that while you can, because it ain't going to stay calm for long. Looking at mostly sunny skies, 79 degrees for the high today, practically 80, might as well be. But the wind going to tell the real story for today. Winds out of the southwest 5 to 10, becoming southeast 15 to 25, and gusts could get as high as 35 miles an hour today. For tonight, mostly clear, dropping down to an overnight low of 38 degrees. Winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles an hour. And then for your Wednesday, sunny skies, 69 for the high. Should be nice outside, windy with a southeast wind 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southwest 20 to 30, and gusts as high as 45 miles an hour for your Wednesday. Wednesday night, partly cloudy, dropping down to an overnight low of 30, and breezy with a wind out of the west 20 to 25, gusts as high as 35 miles an hour. Thursday, the snow and the sleet and the rain move into our area. Just all the weather this week. Partly cloudy and a low of around 30 for your Wednesday night, but a 20% chance of snow showers before 11 a.m. on Thursday. Mostly sunny and a high of around 48 degrees. Breezy and winds 15 to 25, gusts as high as 35. More heat and more sun back in the region on Friday and just in time for the weekend. Sunny and 61 for your Friday. Sunny and 65 for Saturday, and 73 degrees with a whole lot of sunshine for your Sunday. 13 minutes after 8 o'clock. Going to pause, pay a couple of these bills, get Ms. Donna on the phone, and coming up after these, we chit-chat with Ms. Donna Oracion from Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Stay tuned to A Morning Without Mike Winters.
When I'm ready for new furniture, I don't want to wait for it. I go to Glenn's Furniture, where everything is ready for immediate delivery. Beautiful power reclining furniture, gorgeous dining room sets and bedroom sets, and the world's most comfortable mattresses. Glenn's has the quality furniture I'm looking for at the best prices around, in stock and ready to go home. So don't wait around. Hurry to Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda, delivering for free since 1953.
The University of New Mexico is committed to ensuring that residents of our state entering college for the first time can afford to pursue a bachelor's degree with the Lobo First Year Promise. Qualified first-time freshmen who have graduated from a New Mexico high school and have an annual family income of $50,000 or less will have base tuition and fees for full-time enrollment covered for the 22 to 23 academic year. Application deadline is March 1st. The Lobo First Year Promise at the University of New Mexico. Find out more at promise.unm.edu.
Hey, this is Dr. Keon Egger at Carabelli Dental in Roswell. Our office is passionate about creating beautiful, long-lasting smiles. But here's the thing. Sometimes that means dentures, and that's not a bad thing. These aren't your grandma's dentures. We combine artistry and the latest technology to create beautiful, natural-looking teeth. If you are in southeastern New Mexico and you have dentures or are considering dentures, you need to come visit us at Carabelli Dental.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 622-4455.
If you're a person who has more to do than you have hours in your day, and everything seems to take priority over your own health, then you're going to love the Loveless MyChart Secure Patient Portal. You can message your doctor, make an appointment, or view lab results anytime, day or night, on your computer or smartphone. Print a list of your medications at the click of a mouse, or even compare previous tests to map your health progress. Loveless MyChart connects you to better health, anywhere, anytime.
Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The U.S. Treasury once considered producing donut-shaped coins. They instead decided to go with coin-shaped donuts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 16 minutes after 8 o'clock. Trying to get Miss Donna on the phone, but having a little issue finding the phone number. So I brought in Mr. Hardar Tanner. He's going to vamp for just a second while I get Miss Donna on the phone. Tanner, take it away.
Thank you, Sean. Let's see here. Save the date for Donna Blake Birchall's book signing and short presentation, sponsored by the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. And it's going to be one of her new books, New Mexico Ghost Towns. At least I think it's new. Sunday, February 27th, 2022, from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. in the Archives Facility, 208 North Lee, Roswell, New Mexico. And I guess they're also going to have a short presentation and book signing event featuring that book. So don't miss it. That's going to be interesting. And we also have the Ted Vigil, one of those. And it's also going to be a fundraiser, but it's a concert. He looks exactly like John Denver and sounds exactly like John Denver. So that's going to be really, really, really cool. There's going to be 2 shows only, Saturday, February 19th, 2022, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. I believe it's $40 VIP and $30 for reserved seats. Tickets, you call 575-513-8119. I repeat, 575-513-8119. Should be a really fun concert. He looks like a country musician, so I think that's your thing and you like it.
Tanner, thank you for vamping for me for just a few minutes. I believe we are joined on the phone this morning by Miss Donna Oracion from ENMU Roswell. How are you doing this morning?
Fine. How are you doing?
Woohoo! We got a connection. I am doing good, Miss Donna. How are you doing?
Good.
It's been a crazy, crazy morning. It started.
Oh, it sounds like it.
The morning started before I even got here. I spent 20 minutes this morning basically ripping my house apart looking for one shoe.
Oh, gosh.
My daughter decided yesterday when she got home from school to just lose a shoe randomly, and I didn't think to look for it. So that was my morning, and it's just sort of been running around like a chicken with my head cut off from there.
Oh, goodness. Well, good thing you didn't cut your other foot off, and you would have been okay with just
Well, I thought about it. I was like, we do just have the one shoe. Maybe we just have her, just hobble around all day.
Right.
Or just go in socks, just old school style. But
that throws you off for the whole day, I know.
Exactly. But you know what? This is the calm of the storm. I'm seated. I got my coffee. Now we can just chit chat. So let's talk about the semester. Spring semester is obviously underway.
It is.
Things are going at ENMU Roswell. How's the semester so far?
So far, it's going great. We've got we're up in enrollment so far, so we're excited about that. We have early college on campus. We're getting another group of youth challenge students coming in, and students are adjusting well. We still have the masks that we're wearing on campus, but everybody's good with that. We've had some events. We had a groundbreaking last Saturday for Ascent Aviation on campus, and the governor was here. And so we're excited. We have a few things that are coming up this spring that I wanted to mention.
Absolutely.
So first we have our foundation golf tournament. It's coming up April 9th, and I know that seems far away, but it comes up pretty quick. With our annual fundraiser for our foundation, it's their 19th annual. So we've got some great prizes lined up, and of course we're accepting sponsorships for holes and for teams and for event sponsors. So it's $100 per player, $400 per team. And then you can also be an event sponsor or a corporate sponsor, which both of those include teams, and then a whole sponsor as well. So if you're interested, it will be easy to call Craig Collins. He's at 624-7304, or you can send an email at craig.collins@roswell.enmu.edu. And we do have all the information posted on the website, which is roswell.enmu.edu. And that tournament will be held at MMI Golf Course. We really appreciate the staff there that help us out every year.
Absolutely.
So we're looking forward to that for our foundation.
It's exciting too, and definitely, like you said, it's coming up a lot faster than you think. So if you want to be a part of this, if you want to sponsor a hole, if you want to sponsor a part of the event, now's the time to do it because those spaces fill up real quick.
They do. We kind of kick off the golf tournament season with our tournament, and it fills pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. So we have had in the past just a wait list for teams that are not associated with sponsorships. We give our sponsorships, of course, first choice and preference for teams. So in the past few years, we've had a number of teams that have just been on a wait list because we can only have a certain number of teams on the course. It's just a morning tournament. So our shotgun started at 8. So we have a limited number of teams we can host for the tournament. So really, definitely sponsors are the preferred way to go to make sure your team is guaranteed to play. And then, of course, it's a great cause. Our foundation provides scholarships, but also provides funding for other types of requests on campus. We just recently approved a $10,000 request from our foundation to host a food pantry on our campus.
Oh, nice.
And we're also requesting some state funding for that. So we know a lot of our students have a lot of challenges as they attend college, and food insecurity is one of them. And so it's kind of a new thing on college campuses to provide additional support in the way of food for students. So just an example of one of the ways that the foundation does assist our university.
That's amazing.
Again, it's a great cause, and April 9th will be our foundation golf tournament.
Excellent.
And
get signed up now.
other-
624-7304 if you want more information, or find more info at roswell.enmu.edu.
Right, exactly. And then later in April, we are having our annual Explore Eastern event. That will be April 28th, and we've not been able to hold this the past 2 years, so we're really excited to have it in coming back again. It's basically our spring seniors tour day. So seniors are invited to visit the campus. Seniors from the area, the local area, are all invited, and we tour the campus. We provide lunch. We have lots of prizes, including a new laptop computer, and then also 2 full tuition scholarships that our foundation is providing for that. So we encourage high school seniors that are interested to sign up with their high school counselor. Bus transportation is provided for this as well. And again, it's just a chance to really, you may have just driven by the campus or been maybe to the Performing Arts Center, but you really haven't seen the campus and some of the classrooms and the labs and talked with instructors, that sort of thing. So it's a really great opportunity to see the campus. If you're still considering what college to attend, it's a great way to see the campus up close and really help cement your decision that ENMU Roswell is the best place for you to start your education. We really think that's true. So we really want to encourage seniors that are interested to sign up for that with their high school counselor. And again, that's April 28th. It's a Thursday. Again, seems far into the future, I know, but we just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that and gets that planned on their calendars. And that will be from 9:30 to 12:30. So it's not a huge amount of time, but enough time to really to see the campus in depth.
Yeah, to browse around a little bit, kind of get a feel for the campus. And one of the things, what I was going to say is, the campus itself is almost like a living organism in that it's constantly evolving, it's constantly changing. There's parts that are moving around. When I went to school there, way back in the turn of the century, in the pioneer days, exactly. They had just gotten the OTC, or the technology center there, the computer lab, and. So, I mean, it was an exciting moment. We got to walk around and see the new building, have that new building smell. Everybody wanted to have their classes in the new building. But since then, I mean, there's been so many additions that, the new main office, all the different, different categories that are being added, all the different majors that are being added. It's an evolving thing.
Right. And, we know that with the continued emphasis on online learning and that sort of thing, new structures are becoming more difficult to fund, both through the statewide capital funding process and that sort of thing. So what we focus on now is renovation and remodeling. So of course our new physical plant building is actually a new structure, and that's for our campus maintenance staff. But our automotive and welding technology building has been undergoing a huge remodel right now, and it's nearing close to completion. So we're going to be excited to have that completed. And then we're going to be renovating additional areas on campus with, of course, kind of behind the scenes, new fiber optic cable, that sort of thing. We're adding new video surveillance, new additional lighting areas, systems on campus. So a lot of new things that maybe aren't as flashy as a brand new building, but we are constantly renovating, remodeling what we have, infrastructure improvements, which again is very costly. And some of the things we can do with our own capital reserve, some things we have to go out to ask voters for support for the bond issue. Some things we receive appropriations from the legislature. So we're constantly in a state of improving and changing. And so some things are maybe more visible and other things are more behind the scenes that you don't realize. So
they're cogs in the work, gears that make the whole machine work.
Yes. And we appreciate the support of our legislators and the community, but new equipment is costly. We want to make sure that our students are training on the highest technology, the latest technology equipment that's available. So we have in our medical simulation labs, of course, we have the mannequins, and then we also have an ambulance simulator, and we're requesting a new mobile ambulance simulator as well with this coming legislative funding. So we're always very aware that we don't want to just ever stay stagnant and just be a little, community college on the south side of town that isn't changing with the times. We want to make sure we are changing and innovating and growing. Absolutely. And our foundation helps with that. The state legislature helps with that. Our community helps us with that. So it's a team effort.
But it all costs something. And you touched on something there that ENMU Roswell is a great place to start your education, whatever that happens to be, whether it's medical, whether it's child care, but it's also a fantastic place to get certified and start a career. Essentially, this time next year, you could have a career.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So the certification programs that are offered at ENMU Roswell are absolutely impressive. So whether you choose to start a 4-year program and you get your basics out of the way here, or you choose a certification, there are so many opportunities that are waiting for you at Eastern New Mexico University Roswell.
There are, and of course, like you said, we have a lot of options. So if you feel you can't commit 2 years because of family or work and that sort of thing, we do have some shorter certifications that are available. Some are just, 1 semester, some are 1 year, some are, a few more months than that. So it just depends on what you want to do. But we really encourage people to just go to our website and browse through the programs, click on the programs tab, just see what's available, click into each page and see what it would require to receive that degree or certification. And it's amazing how fast time goes. And before you know it, you'll have an additional credential that can earn you more money and a better living for your family down the road.
It's all about taking those steps. Call an advisor, talk to someone, look into filling out financial documentation. These are the steps in the process that are going to get you to that point. And then you got to put the work in. You got to do the homework. You got to actually do the studies. But once you do it,
nothing worthwhile is easy. You've got to make some kind of effort. But we always know if the student's willing to make the effort and spend the time, and we'll provide the support. We'll provide the financial support, the tutoring support, anything we can do. If it's counseling, things like that. We have a lot of support services that really help our students get through whatever tough times that are happening in their lives. We've got the Cosmo Cares emergency funding that students can apply for. We have a lot of money, some federal money that's available. So those are just quick funds that you don't have to pay back. There's a quick, easy application form right on the website. It's called Cosmo Cares Funding. You click on that, fill out a quick application, request what you need, why you need it, and most of the time it's funded. And it's nice to have that money available to us that we want to share with students.
Absolutely, and that's what it's all about is making sure that the money that's in place is being used in the right way. It's being used for the students, being used for education, for the betterment of the students overall. Yes, so there's so many financial options that financial obstacles should not be a reason why you can't attend college. There's plenty of opportunities to find funds that can help you. So we really encourage you to
to go to our financial aid page or call our financial aid office and meet with an advisor anytime. You can make an appointment. Just call 624-7294 on our website. There's a number right on the homepage. There's a text number. You can just text and say, I need some help, or I want to go to school, but I don't know where to start. Set up an appointment. Very simple.
Right.
And this is a great time because we're not in the registration mode.
Right.
Our summer fall registration will kick back into gear first part of April, first Sunday in April. So right now it's a quieter time in our advising area, so it's a great time to get everything ready.
Yep.
And if you want to just maybe start with a small, couple credit hours during the summer, or if you want to take a bigger load during the summer, they're more compressed courses. It's a shorter time frame, so it's a great time to just kind of get your feet wet for taking a college class and then take a full load in the fall. So there's a lot of options available to you.
Do the legwork now. Try to figure out what you want to focus on, where your major is, what things you need to accomplish to get to that goal. Talk to an advisor, and then once once the registration opens up, you're going to be set. You're going to be hitting the ground running. That's the best way to do it.
Exactly. And one other thing I wanted to mention before we finish for this morning, we are also offering some community workshops this spring that are brand new. We're starting to do a little more outreach to the community with a few topics, and so our Center for Workforce Development wanted to share these courses. So the first one is exploring MIG welding, and MIG means metal inert gas welding. It's kind of the initial entry-level welding class. It's really just a 2-day class from April 8th and April 9th, 5 to 9 the first day, and then 8 to noon, and then 1 to 5 on the second day. That's April 9th. It's exploring MIG welding, so you'll learn, again, this is a very entry-level workshop for beginners. So you'll learn the art of welding using the MIG process, and you'll learn the safety hazards related to welding, and you'll be actually able to create a small welding project that you can take home with you.
So more like for like hobbyists or people who want to do some welding projects around their home or maybe a small business. This would be a chance to kind of learn that skill, so you don't have to call in a specialist and spend all that extra money.
Right, and a lot of people just want to know, well, I've seen welding, but I don't really know how it works.
Sure.
And again, this is not for the big pipe welders, stainless steel welding.
Yeah, you're not going out to work the rig after this or anything.
Right. This is just kind of, you work things in your house, and you think, I have that gate that I'd like to add a little or fix something. You can learn how to weld. So again, that's April 8th and 9th, and that will be at our Occupational Technology Center on campus. It's $115, but that covers all of your materials, that sort of thing. And it again is a two-day class. Sure. And then the second class is called Make Watering Your Garden Easy. This is kind of for the gardeners out there. It's April 30th. It's one day. It's from 9 to noon and then 1 to 2. And it's going to talk about, our instructor will be Skylar Pierce, and he's going to talk about the different types of plants that can grow in the Pecos Valley, and you'll learn how to set up your own timed irrigation system on a budget. Okay. So you don't have to take all this time watering your garden. You can actually enjoy spending time in your garden, just watching it grow and enjoying nature. So again, it's kind of a insight into to growing things here in this arid climate that we're in, and how to set up the irrigation system. So again, you're not out there with the hose all day, keeping things watered.
That sounds perfect for someone like me. I've killed a cactus. I am terrible in the garden. So that sounds, because you have to water those things like every month. Who knew? Yeah, that's a lot of responsibility. So make watering
like
easy.
Having a pet. You got to make a commitment.
Exactly. So there's simple solutions. You could set up irrigation systems. You can set up a timer. There's things that you can do.
Right. So again, this is kind of a nice, fun class that will help you with your summer garden, and that's April 30th. And the cost on that one is $49 a person.
Okay.
And to register for all of these, you can call Vicki Thomas. She's in our Center for Workforce and Community Development. She's at 624-7164, or vicky.thomas@roswell.enmu.edu. And both of these workshops will have a limited seating. So again, just due to the supplies and the rooms that they'll be held in will be limited number of seats. But again, you can get in on those 2 courses, and hopefully we'll see how those go and be able to do some additional workshops in the future. And these are no credit, just learning something new and something that you can really help improve your quality of life and your skill set as you work around the house.
You know, Donna, I'm going to be honest with you. It sounds like you're getting us ready for the apocalypse. We're learning spot welding. We're learning how to garden. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're getting us ready for the impending zombie hordes.
Right. You can make sure you have water and yep.
Can I suggest another the next class, blacksmithing basics, or maybe sword forging or something along those lines.
Yeah, I see you're onto our theme here.
Area denial weapons and I'm just thinking, things that can be useful in the Walking Dead universe. But
you can make your own weapons. Exactly. Yeah, I think you're right.
There you go. But
all of this will be very good life skills for whatever happens in the future.
Absolutely. So those community classes, if you want more information, contact 624-7164, Ms. Vicki Thomas, and she'll get you info and get you signed up.
These are all listed on our website as well at roswell.enmu.edu if you need more details on those.
Yes, I was going to say we covered a lot of ground today. I mean, a lot of different topics. So if you need, any info on any of the stuff we talked about, it's roswell.enmu.edu or call the main number, which is 624-7000. They can answer any questions that you have. Advisors on hand, ready to answer questions. So, make it happen, folks. This is the opportunity, to start your next career, your next career field. The pandemic changed a lot of people taking their hobbies and turning them now into careers. And this is a great opportunity to kind of pivot a bit.
Exactly. You can start your own business. We do have a small business development center on campus that can help you with all of that. So just so many things that our campus offers to our community.
Absolutely. 624-7000 or roswell.enmu.edu. For all the info that you need to know. Ms. Donna, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate having you.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we'll chit-chat with you again next time.
Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you. There you go. Ms. Donna Oracion from Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell, joining us on the phone. Again, 624-7000 or roswell.enmu.edu for all the info that you need to know. 37 minutes after 8 o'clock. Going to pause for some local news. After these, we sit down with the Chaves County Extension Office on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Now for a Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. A former Southern New Mexico private school principal is now charged with sexually abusing a minor and allegedly trying to groom other children. Alamogordo police arrested Trevor Lavalace, this acting director of the Legacy Christian Academy, for the alleged assault of a 12-year-old child. A judge is expected to hear pretrial motions in the case by the end of this week. The New Mexico Department of Transportation announcing it'll be offering in-person car seat inspections from nationally certified child passenger safety technicians in Eddy County this week. The inspections from 10 a.m. to noon on Thursday at the Artesia Fire Department and from 3 to 5 p.m. on February 19th at the Carlsbad Police Department. Correct use of child safety seats has been shown to decrease the risk of death by an estimated 70% for infants and 54% for children. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus. Here's Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Gusty wind for the next couple of days as a pretty strong low-pressure system moves through our area. Little blowing dust will be possible this afternoon. Otherwise, sunny. We'll be in the upper 70s. Clear tonight down to the upper 30s. And then some gusts up to 45 or 50 miles per hour on Wednesday. Sunny and our high in the upper 60s. Cooler and partly sunny on Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. 39 minutes after 8 o'clock. Sean Smalls, Inside Your Radios, filling in for Mixmaster Mike Winters. Joining us in studio, representatives from the Chaves County Extension Office, Miss Tamara Schubert. I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Drew Garnett.
Drew Garnett. How are you guys doing this morning?
We are great. How are you?
Running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but we're making it work.
That's what happens when Mike is out.
I'm telling you, the man makes magic happen.
Yes, he does.
And he makes it look easy. You don't realize just how much goes on around here until Mike's not around. That's when things get complicated. But it is a growing season, obviously, gearing up for, springtime. We're waiting for things to start blooming again. The weather's getting warmer outside, and our minds are turning to the fields a bit. So what do you guys have going on at the Extension office?
Well, at the Extension office, I'm the new ag agent for Chaves County, and so I'm here to help out anybody that has any growing questions, any growing needs. I've got a few people asking about fertilizer applications, looking to get their trees in order coming up here pretty soon. Once the temperatures do warm up a little bit more, we are going to be encouraging people to give them some food. Although with the rising cost of fertilizer that you're going to be seeing spiking right now, I always recommend getting a soil test. That gives you an idea of what kind of is your baseline for your soil that you have in your yard.
Okay.
So that can help you kind of narrow down, maybe even reduce the cost of how much fertilizer you need to use.
And so you're looking for like pH levels or
I'm looking at it all.
Soil acidity?
Yeah,
like that?
So some of that I'm looking at definitely depending especially on what type of plant material you're wanting to grow. For example, roses like a little more acidic soil. So sometimes if you don't have an acidic soil, sometimes adding a mulch like a pine straw or something like that, that's going to be, as it breaks down, making the soil a little more acidic, helps those roses out. Things like that. So generally we're going to be wanting to tailor that to the specific yard or the specific field, the specific crop, the specific trees that you have in your yard. You're definitely going to want to tailor it to your specific needs.
There's been a lot of attention being paid to soil quality, to different nutrients, and to growing mediums lately for other reasons here in the state of New Mexico. But I've just noticed a lot of attention being paid to soil and quality and things like that. A lot of different materials that, like, people are growing things in coconut husk now. And I've just been seeing a lot of that stuff kind of cropping up.
Yes, and so definitely anything that we do, especially here in New Mexico, we have a series of challenges, specifically water. But generally, anytime you're growing something, soil health is so important. A lot of times it can be overlooked, and we just expect, that's whatever, any type of soil, grow whatever. It's not the case.
Right.
So we definitely want to pay attention to our soil health. You're looking at a lot of, especially in agriculture right now, you're seeing a lot of cover crops, making sure that the soil is covered at all times. It works very similar to an active mulch, and then a lot of times they'll till that back into the soil, which adds its own level of fertilizer, a natural green fertilizer, if you will, back into the soil. And it adds that organic matter, which adds what we call aggregations, just allowing that soil to hold itself together so that it can then retain moisture, retains the nutrients really well in that case. So that is definitely something that we're looking at right now, especially with legislation that's gone through in the state. But, one of the things that I always find funny is if you look at a lot of the agriculture that's gone on here in the community. I actually grew up here in Chaves County. I have just recently moved back after 7 years in Florida.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
We are glad he is back.
Bringing the knowledge.
Well,
Appreciate it.
I'm a little dried out right now. I never thought I'd get used to the humidity, but I have been a little dried out, but it's good to be back. But if you look at you drive through Chaves County, and you're going to be seeing here pretty soon a lot of manure from the dairies being put back onto the fields. That manure adds so much more than just fertilizer. It adds that organic matter back into the soil, and we've been doing that here in the community since I was real little, and even before that, but I just remember it from being real little. And so this is something that it's making a lot more news now, but I feel like our growers here in the community have been doing this and these practices for a very long time. And so it's good to see them getting the recognition for it. And it is coming to the forefront in the media and then in the news. But it is something that we have been doing here in the community, and we plan to continue doing.
Nice to be able to kind of put the green thumb to use a little bit.
It is.
Take some of the generational knowledge that we've accrued here in southeastern New Mexico and put it to some use.
Yeah.
Now, you were mentioning there's a couple conferences coming up, some big events happening.
Yes, so there are a couple different conferences I want to bring up. So the first one is the High Plains Dairy Conference, which is going to be March 1st and 2nd in Amarillo, Texas. There is going to be a lot of great information, a lot of great talks on that. And you can just look up High Plains Dairy Conference, and you'll be able to find the agenda online real easily. Another one is the Western Pecan Conference, which is going to be in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and that is March 8th through the 10th. Always a great resource for anybody who's growing pecans. And with Chaves County, we have a huge pecan industry, so that's a great one to see new technology that's coming out and a lot of different things that is put on by NMSU. Well, with NMSU.
Okay, and so obviously both these are very specific conferences focusing to a very specific group of people, dairy farmers,
So
pecan growers.
these particular ones are for obviously dairy and the pecan.
Sure.
And then there's another one that's the Southwest Beef Symposium that is going to be held in Tucumcari this year, March 11th and 12th.
I love symposia.
Yeah. So that is always a great one to go to. And then there is another event that this is for any student who's interested in agriculture, ranch management, a potential career in that field, anyone from the ages of 15 through 19. There is the New Mexico Youth Ranch Management Camp. So applications have opened up just now. So again, it's the New Mexico Youth Ranch Management Camp. And if you need to find more information, either call our office or you can go to nmyrm.nmsu.edu.
NMYRM, you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's the New Mexico Youth Ranch Management, NM for New Mexico, Y for youth, R for ranch, and M for management. And then .nmsu.edu. And that'll bring you to the link that you can apply for this. So this is, again, for youth ages 15 through 19. It's open right now, but it closes May 6th.
Okay.
It's always best to get your application in as quickly as possible. They do have it open for 30 youth, but they do have it for 3 of them are for out of state. So there's 27 for the state of New Mexico that are reserved. Now, there is a cost for the youth, but there are tons of organizations. I've already been in talks with a few here in the community of Chaves County that are always looking to sponsor youth.
Okay.
So do not let the cost of it deter anybody from applying. They're talking with everybody over there in charge of this particular camp. There has not been anybody that's been turned away for lack of funds.
Awesome.
There's always a way to get it paid for. So we are looking for youth from Chaves County who are interested in applied. I did reach out to the FFA teachers here in Chaves County. Just yesterday, I'm going to be reaching out to 4-H as well.
Okay.
But it's really anybody who's interested in range management, in livestock, and setting up a program. They go through all things beef.
Okay.
The marketing and economics of running a ranch and managing a ranch, utilizing the natural resources to the best ability that you can, and then also just general range management. And so it is a really awesome event that it's been in work since 2011. And so it really is a great program that New Mexico State offers and is available for youth who are interested in agriculture.
Awesome. So super in-depth, and it kind of covers the whole every facet of managing a ranch and making it happen.
Yes, it is very intense, and it is awesome. It is a wonderful program.
There's a lot that goes into the business side of things that, you always think, I'm going to be a ranch man, going to ride horses and rope cattle all day. No, there's a whole lot more that goes into it. Yeah, you got to grow, you got to show. There's a ton of the business side of it. So
there is.
So that's awesome. So it's nmyrm.nmsu.edu if you want more information. I'll post that up over on the Facebook page too, because it's a lot of letters we just said. But it sounds like you guys are definitely busy.
Yes.
We are super busy, and so we are glad that Drew is back in the office so he gets all those fun ad calls. We do have several other programs going on right now. So we have Kitchen Creations, which is our diabetic cooking school. So our first one is next month for March, and you can still register for that. So that is an in-person 4-part series class. But we had some comments from the community and that they don't drive at night or Tuesdays really didn't work for them. Sure. So if they are missing the one in March, we have started a new one in April as well, and that one's going to be virtual. So if they're concerned about driving or getting in person yet, they can join us in April, and all that information is available through our office or on the website for NMSU Diabetes. And then we are partnering with the library this year as well. So we will start having 4-H Saturdays at the library where they can come join us and do 4-H programming and stuff, whether they're enrolled as a member or not. And then they can hang out at the library and enjoy the activities they have there afterwards.
I like it. I dig that a lot. Go back to the whole Kitchen Creations thing.
Yes, sir.
I love this idea because I spent a lot of time learning keto recipes because I was keto for like a good solid year. And so I learned all these alternate cooking techniques, all these different like workarounds, and using psyllium husk fiber and xanthan gum instead of like cornstarch and stuff like that. There's all these little hacks, and it's fascinating to me. I love it. Like the stuff that you can do with gelatin blows my mind. And then I just found out about this stuff called agar-agar. You ever heard of it?
I don't.
It's like gelatin, but it's like a different like consistency of gelatin, and I'm dying to try it. But that stuff fascinates me. So it's really cool to see that you guys have a program that's teaching alternate cooking techniques. That's awesome. Yeah. So the virtual program is going to be like top down with cameras.
So they are. So our virtual program in April, it's done throughout the region. So there's 4 different agents participating in it. So you'll have the dietitian on to teach the diabetes nutrition information, and then you will have a cook along. So you'll get all different camera angles.
Okay.
You'll know the recipe ahead of time so you can cook along with us from home. But it kind of teaches you how to balance your plate for people that have pre-diabetes or are currently diabetic so that they can get the nutrition that their body needs.
Very cool. And once you get the base knowledge, you just jump on TikTok. You can find all kinds of cool recipes. And get real creative. And then you mentioned 4-H Saturdays at the library. Is that going to be one Saturday a month?
So right now they're going to start out as one Saturday a month.
Okay.
Hopefully by summer we're going to kick that up to 2. And then next year when our new enrollment opens up in October, we'll be almost every Saturday.
Awesome.
So they can come, like I said, whether they're a member or not of 4-H. If they always wanted to see what 4-H was about, it's a great way to come out and join us. I think in March we're doing weaving.
Okay.
So yeah, they get to learn. They'll get some hands-on take-home projects that they get to leave with.
Very cool.
And then, like I said, the library always has activities planned right after we're done so they can hang around and enjoy board games or Legos or whatever it is that's after that Saturday.
Nice.
And enjoy the library.
Very cool, very cool. So this is the busy season, obviously, for 4-H, for FFA. You don't think about, we're still months away from fair season, but now is when the work is being put in. Now is when they're out, actually raising and growing.
So our enrollment ends on March 31st. So if they are wanting to show this year or do that kind of stuff, they do want to get their paperwork in by March. But you're right. Now's the time that our projects are kicking off. So right now through our office, we have jewelry making, we have crochet, we have quilting, we've got sewing classes, we've got embroidery classes. All those are going on right now.
Wow.
So this is definitely the time to jump in.
Mm-hmm. Keeping your hands busy. I like it. What are the age ranges for 4-H?
So our traditional 4-H kids are 9 years old through 18, but we do have a Clover Bud program which reaches our kids 5 through 8.
Awesome. So something for pretty much everybody.
We do.
Very cool. Very cool. We covered a lot of ground in just a few minutes, y'all. I don't know if y'all are aware. We hit all kinds of different stuff. So obviously, there's a bunch of conferences coming up. We'll talk about a couple of these here just real quick in review. The High Plains Dairy Conference, March 1st through the 2nd for the dairy farmers out there. March 8th through the 10th. See, I was taking notes. Mm-hmm. The Western Pecan Conference coming up March 8th through the 10th. So great info if you're nuts about nuts. The NM Youth Ranch Management Camp is coming up. I didn't write the dates down on that. What was the dates?
Yeah, so the application period has opened right now. Mm-hmm. And it goes until May 6th, but the dates for the actual event is June 12th through the 17th.
Gotcha.
So every time I come on, I'm going to keep bringing it up so that our youth can keep hearing about it and apply. And
absolutely.
So, yeah.
Hit them over the head with it hard. nmyrm.nmsu.edu. And as far as like 4-H and FFA goes, folks want more information about the organizations. How do they find out more?
They can always call our office, 575-622-3210, and that also works for anybody in the community having home ec or family and consumer science or ag questions. That number gets you all the agents.
Excellent. 622-3210 is the number to call for all things Chaves County Extension Office. You guys are busy.
We are.
Thumbs in all kinds of pies.
That's the best way to be, though.
There you go. Is. Absolutely. Idle hands, devil's playthings, right?
That's it.
There you go. Well, Tara, Drew, thank you guys so much for your time. Welcome back once again, and hope to hear back from you again.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you. 6 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Let's pause and get you up to date with your Wall Street Business Report.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. New York City fired more than 1,000 workers who failed to comply with the city's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. That's according to the mayor's office. The 1,430 workers who lost their jobs represent less than 1% of the 370,000-person city workforce and are far fewer terminations than expected before a Friday deadline to get the shots. Mexico's president said Monday the United States' suspension on avocado imports and recent environmental complaints are part of a conspiracy against his country by political or economic interests. Mexico is putting forward a conspiracy theory after the U.S. suspended imports of Mexican avocados over the weekend, following a threat against a U.S. plant safety inspector in Mexico. On Wall Street, the Dow down 171 points. The Nasdaq fell a fraction, and the S&P 500 down 17 points. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Buying a good, clean, reliable pre-owned vehicle is just about the smartest thing you can do these days. But how do you know it's good, clean, and reliable? Well, just visit your friends at Roswell Ford. Here at the Tailgate Nation, we have over 100 outstanding pre-owned vehicles ready to serve you and your family for years to come. How do you know? Because we put everyone through a rigorous 139-point inspection, and we give you a 3-day money-back guarantee to be sure it's right. These are vehicles you'll be proud to own and thrilled to drive, like a 2015 Ford Fusion Hybrid for just $11,980, a 2017 Ford Escape for just $15,980, and a 2020 Ford Explorer XLT for just $39,980, plus about 100 more that are just as good. Sure, you can get a used car just about anywhere, but you'll only find a selection like this at Roswell Ford. So don't take chances. Come by and see us at Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation at the corner of 9th and Main.
Wilbanks Trucking Services is seeking dedicated, responsible, and committed professionals to join their team. CDL and non-CDL positions are available. Wilbanks Trucking Services offers comprehensive training, excellent benefits including housing, and opportunity for advancement. They understand the importance of family and maintaining a work-life balance, making your family their priority. To join the leaders in oilfield services, call 575-746-3618 or visit wilbanks.us for more information on career opportunities. Wilbanks Trucking Services is an equal opportunity employer.
At LeGrand Funeral Chapel, we believe that every funeral should be a reflection of the life it honors. The joys, the triumphs, the faith, the family, and so much more. For us, no detail is too small, no request too big. This is Rosa Aguilar. When the time comes to choose a funeral home, we hope you'll let us serve your family. At LeGrand Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
Austin Industrial is currently seeking a janitorial staff position to work in the Holly Frontier Refinery. You will be responsible for cleaning and sanitizing offices, meeting rooms, bathrooms, kitchen and dining room, and public areas. No minimum education requirements are needed, no experience is required, and pay is $13.50 an hour for this full-time 40-hour-a-week position. Apply at austin-ind.com or call Miss Cookie Look at 832-657-3385. Austin Industrial is an equal employment opportunity employer.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The catfish has over 27,000 taste buds. Do you think they prefer fried or blackened? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. 2 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Sean Smalls filling in for Mix Master Mike Winters. Coming up next hour, going to replay the interview that Mike had, or play the interview that Mike did last week with Ted Vigil. That's right, Ted Vigil, the singer of the classics from John Denver, and looks the spit image of the dude. He's going to be performing this Saturday, 2 shows, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. That's going to be happening this Saturday at the Roswell Community Little Theater. It's all in conjunction with the Little Theater as a fundraiser to get the Little Theater a new roof. We're trying to get them a new roof, and we want to make it happen. So get your tickets now for an evening with Ted Vigil coming up this Saturday, February 19th, 2 p.m., 7 p.m., 2 shows. Tickets are $30 reserved and $40 VIP. You can get your tickets by calling 575-513-8119. That's 575-513-8119 for all the info that you need to know about Ted Vigil live in concert this Saturday. And again, we'll replay that interview that Mike had with Mr. Ted Vigil coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. And just a reminder, if you missed any portion of the program, including our interviews this last hour with Donna Oracion from Eastern Mexico University, Roswell, or the folks from the Chavez County Extension Office, Ms. Tamara, Mr. Drew, we'll have those for you over on our Facebook page as soon as Tanner gets those posted up for you. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Russian President Putin is talking with the West about Ukraine.
Speaking after talks with Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz, Putin said Russia's ready to engage in talks on limiting the deployment of intermediate-range missiles in Europe, transparency of drills and other confidence-building measures, but emphasises the need for the West to heed Russia's main demands. The statement comes after Russia announced it's pulling back some troops from exercises that have raised fears of a potential invasion of Ukraine. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Wholesale inflation up almost 10% last month compared with a year earlier, according to the Labor Department's Producer Price Index out this morning. The January PPI spiked 1% from December. Canadian truckers vow to continue their protest in Ottawa in the face of a crackdown by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, invoking his government's Emergencies Act, enabling the seizure of bank accounts without a warrant. The truckers, though, insist they will not be silent.
We want only one thing, to finish with these lockdowns, with these restrictions. We don't have any political interest in this action. I don't care about what they are doing in Parliament. We want our freedom back.
And the protest has, by and large, been peaceful. She's at the top of her game, given the go-ahead to continue competing in the Beijing Olympics following a failed drug test. 15-year-old Russian figure skating phenom Kamila Valieva is a leader in the women's short program. Watching Wall Street, stocks are sharply higher this morning. Right now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 452 points, the Nasdaq ahead 258, and the S&P trading 64 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3388. Enjoy.
The top Democrat in the U.S. House of Representatives pays a visit to Israel. They've got the latest from the Media Line's Felice Friedson.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will address Israel's parliament, the Knesset, on Wednesday. Pelosi will be heading a delegation of Democratic congressmen, women, and senators. Some pundits see the junket as an effort to blunt the volume of party progressives, reasserting the Democratic role in the traditional bipartisan support Israel enjoys on Capitol Hill. As midterm elections draw near, the narrative is shifting toward a new reality where Democrats are seen as less supportive of the Jewish state than Republicans. Information released ahead of the Pelosi visit stressed a lifelong commitment to the Jewish state, with her congressman father urging President Harry Truman to recognize Israel. I'm Felice Friedson, Town Hall News, Jerusalem.
News and analysis at themedialine.org and townhall.com. Minor leaguers could come out on the short end of a Major League Baseball settlement.
In its latest offer to the Players Association, league officials want to eliminate hundreds of minor league playing jobs. Citing sources, ESPN reports the domestic reserve list, which governs the number of minor league players a team can roster at any time, currently is at 180. The proposal keeps that number this year, but allows the commissioner's office to reduce the maximum number of players to as few as 150 over the rest of the collective bargaining agreement. Similar proposals have been rejected by union members. Ron DeRockstra reporting.
Their refusal to take the jab has cost around 1,400 New York City municipal employees their jobs. They refused the vaccine in defiance of the city's vaccine mandate. Police and fire personnel among those who were let go. And on Wall Street, the Dow up 467. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the
wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The traveler said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3 of A Morning Without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Tanner, hold on one second. I'm gonna borrow you for just a couple minutes here because we got some clock to fill, some time to fill, so we're going to chit-chat. I actually found a story. Coming up here in just a few minutes, let me give you the rundown. We're going to play the interview that Mike had last week with Ted Vigil. He's going to be bringing his very unique performance to the stage for one day only. 2 shows, February 19th, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m., with the music of John Denver and the look, sound, and feel of John Denver, too. So if you want to get Colorado Rocky Mountain
It's a John Denver concert.
It is. It's basically a John Denver concert. So if you want to get Colorado Rocky Mountain High, you can do that. The music of Ted Vigil, and you'll hear more about that coming up here in just a few minutes. So I brought you back in here, Tanner, because I'm curious.
Okay.
It's been a busy couple of days. Obviously, Super Bowl Sunday. First of all, who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl?
The Bengals.
See, I was too. I was pulling for the Bengals. And I had no dog in this fight, other than the fact that I wanted, because the Bengals I associate with like the Browns, the Jaguars, those teams that just don't really have a chance in the dance. And so I wanted to see the Bengals do it. And they did a great job. It was a phenomenal game.
Toward the end, they didn't do a great job.
Yeah, the end it was a bit rough, but it was a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
So, but we got through Super Bowl Sunday. Obviously, Valentine's Day was yesterday. Now, are you a single fella? Are you?
I am a fella that's single.
A fella that's single. The reason I ask you is because we made it through Super Bowl Sunday. We made it through Valentine's Day and all the hullabaloo. Which, by the way, did you see the trail of rose petals in the hallway?
No.
So
there was a trail.
I don't know what happened. Okay, here's my theory.
Did Modesto clean it up?
I think they cleaned it up. Yesterday, I was leaving work, and I walked out of the office, and there was one purple rose petal on the ground. Then about 3 feet ahead of me, there was another one, and then another one. And another one, and another one, and then I get downstairs, outside, there's like 3 more on the sidewalk.
So say I don't think that's for you.
It's not a trail of roses. My theory is this. Whoever works in that office right over there, her dude forgot that it was Valentine's Day and ran to one of those like roadside stand places and got a really terrible bouquet of flowers that were falling apart, and then either power walked or sprinted up the stairs to get it to her in time. While he did, petals were falling off of the rose.
I thought it was a trail.
It's like a trail.
Leading to something.
It's leading down to that office.
Leading to the Valentine's gift.
So I'm thinking, I don't know if he just phoned it in and was like, oh crap, I got to get this to her real quick, and then ran it down, and then the flowers fell apart, or if he was intentionally leaving like a trail of rose petals.
I don't know.
It's a weird place to leave rose petals.
Like maybe during lunch, like lead it back, and there'd be a gift there once you got there or something.
Maybe. Yeah, just empty roses, just stems, because he used all the rose petals to lead the trail. But today is for us.
Why?
Valentine's Day was for the couples. Today is for us because today is National Singles Awareness Day.
So do I treat myself? What do I do?
It's Singles Awareness Day, or SAD.
Well, I think everybody's aware that they're singles constantly.
They're aware. But it's the day after Valentine's Day, obviously, for no accident. The Census Bureau, according to census data, Detroit has more singles than any other city. In fact, 71% of the people that live in Detroit are single.
So I should move to Detroit.
Well, I mean, if you want to be single, they're obviously, looking to mingle, but I don't know if Detroit's where you want to be.
I'd move just to get with somebody and then move back.
And then just, bring them back.
Yeah, I'll bring them back.
Rescue them, if you will. Because
Save them from singleness.
They need to be rescued from Detroit. Cleveland is next at 69%. The Cleveland suburb of Euclid, Ohio, ranked number 1 in suburbs with 62% singles. Hoboken, New Jersey is number 2. So there you go.
Okay.
But, well, here's the thing. A new poll, 43% of singles say they have an ex that they'd get back together with in a heartbeat. You have any of those?
No.
I can really only think of like one, just this most recent one. And I wouldn't even say it's a heartbeat necessarily. There would be some trepidation. But yeah. But again, Singles Awareness Day is a day for the single folk to treat ourselves, to do something nice for ourselves, to, pamper the one you love.
Yeah.
The one you love is yourself.
Yeah.
So do a little something extra for yourself. Maybe buy yourself some flowers, get yourself some candy, take yourself out to a nice dinner.
Yeah.
See if you put out afterwards. Just whatever. It's up in the air. It's totally up to you what you want to do with your time, with your energy. It's totally up to you. Just do something special for yourself, basically. That's what I want to encourage.
Yeah.
So if you're single out there, looking to mingle, first of all, how you doing? I'm Sean. Secondly, do something nice for yourself on this Singles Awareness Day. That was fun. I just wanted to get that out there. All right, 11 minutes after 9 o'clock on your Tuesday. Got that interview with Ted Vigil coming up here in just a few minutes, but right now, let's get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Gusty wind for the next couple of days as a pretty strong low-pressure system moves through our area. Little blowing dust will be possible this afternoon. Otherwise, sunny. We'll be in the upper 70s. Clear tonight, down to the upper 30s. And then some gusts up to 45 or 50 miles per hour on Wednesday. Sunny and our high in the upper 60s. Cooler and partly sunny on Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. 12 minutes after 9 o'clock. It's always funny when people find out information about you in the break between things. Tanner looks at me, he's like, but you're not single. I'm like, yeah, I'm single now. I know, breaking news at this hour, but it was a crazy weekend, man.
It's okay. It's okay.
In fairness, I did get out right before Valentine's Day, so it saved me some money. Currently 50 degrees. I could say all this because I'm pretty sure she didn't listen to the station. Currently 50 degrees around Roswell Way. Humidity about 20% with winds out of the south at about 7 miles an hour. The wind going to be telling the real story today. High of 79 with sunny skies. Winds out of the southwest 5 to 10 miles an hour. Becoming southwest between 15 to 25. Gusts as high as 35 miles an hour for today. For tonight, mostly clear, 38, and winds out of the south 5 to 15 miles an hour. More of the blowing stuff tomorrow as well. Sunny skies, 69 for the high, and the wind is going to be a blowing. Gusts out of the southeast 5 to 10, becoming southwest 20 to 30, and gusts as high as 45 miles an hour for tomorrow. So batten down the hatches and leave your floppy hats at home. Partly cloudy, dropping down to 30 for the overnight low, and windy. Winds out of the west, 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts as high as 40, and a 20% chance of snow showers before noon on Thursday. Mostly sunny skies, a high of around 48 degrees, and breezy with winds out of the north 15 to 25, and gusts as high as 35 miles an hour. Once we get through that weird wintry patch, we should be back to nice springtime-like conditions. 61 for the high on Friday, 65 for Saturday, and 73 for the high on Sunday. It's downright
Gone with the wind.
Yes, we will be gone with the wind. Probably not a good kite flying season. I've talked about this before, but kite flying is huge in the Middle East. They do like a big, I think it's in Kuwait.
Don't their kites have like blades and stuff?
Yes, it's crazy, dude. People have died at the kite show. It's like, you guys don't do anything normal, do you? Everything has to be intense. Riding on mopeds and
kind of in the middle of nowhere most of the time.
That's crazy.
They're in a big city or in the middle of nowhere.
It's like Bloodsport. Have you ever seen the movie Bloodsport? How the guy takes his fist and he wraps them in like fabric, like cotton or cloth or whatever, and then he dips them in hot glue, and then he dips them in like it's like nails, or I think it was glass is what he used, was glass.
Yes.
They made fun of it in the movie Hot Shots because he goes up and he dips his hands in caramel sauce, and then he looks at the toppings bar and he's like, peanuts and gummy bears. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, it's like Bloodsport. They like take their kite strings and they like line them with this like sticky resin stuff, and then they coat them in like razor blades and shards of glass, and it's violent. And then they the reason they do it is they're trying to cut their opponent's strings to cut their kite off. But what happens is the winds get a little crazy, those strings get whipped around, people lose limbs and stuff. It's wackadoo, as they say.
Fun.
Yeah, it's weird over there.
Good old-fashioned fun.
Maybe leave the kites at home today. Probably not the best day for that.
Put a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah, it'll be fine. 15 minutes after 9 o'clock, going to pause, pay a couple of these bills, and after these, Mike's interview with Mr. Ted Vigil on the other side on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Ed Heldenbrand, candidate for City Council. He's a patriot fighting against the waste of your tax dollars. As a CPA and Chief Financial Officer with over 35 years of experience, Ed understands the importance of managing budgets. By reducing the wasteful spending in the budget, we can lower your city water, sanitation costs, and work to reduce city fees. Roswell's potential is hurt by bad ideas and wasteful spending. Ed Hildebrand will never vote to shut down Roswell. He'll fight the job, education, and freedom-killing mandates from Santa Fe. It's important that taxpayers see improvements in our roads and city services to attract jobs, businesses, tourists, and to create an environment for local businesses to thrive. In Ward 3, you have a choice. Vote Ed Heldenbrand, the conservative candidate. With your vote, we can build a better Roswell.
I'm Ed Heldenbrand, City Council candidate for Ward 3, asking for your vote on Tuesday, March 1st. It's not about me, it's about we, and I approve this message.
Time to double up and save at Roswell Honda.
Double your refund.
That's right. Roswell Honda wants to double up your tax refund up to $4,000 towards your next vehicle. And with clearance prices across the lot, you can walk in, double up, and drive away today in a 2014 Yukon for just $379 a month, a 2014 Civic for just $249 a month, or a 2017 Escape for just $199 a month. Zero down, no payments for 4 months, free AirPods with a test drive, and double your refund.
Time to double up.
On now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West
The
2nd.
ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than the average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second upload and download speed. With Faster, get true 500 meg. And with Fastest, get 16 gigs of download and upload speeds. Learn more at plateaufiber.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have one pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizing. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees, so that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Men are 6 times more likely to be struck by lightning than women. That's because men are 6 times more likely to wear a tinfoil hat in a thunderstorm. Here's Mike Winters.
And welcome back to the morning show. And joining us on the phone this morning, Ted Vigil, who's going to be doing his John Denver tribute show, 2 shows only here on Saturday, February 19th. Ted, thanks for spending a few minutes here with us.
Oh, it's great to be with you today.
Well, Ted, I gotta say, for the last couple of weeks, all of us have been, I think, New Mexico-ifying your last name, because we all have been calling you Ted Vigil because we see Vigil and we think Vigil down here in New Mexico parts, and then when I got your voicemail saying it was Ted Vigil, I was like, oh, well, we've been New Mexico-ifying his name. So if a lot of people call you Ted Vigil around here, don't be offended.
I was just in Colorado doing the show yesterday or day before yesterday, and that's what everybody called me, Mr. Vigil. So that is that. There's 2 pronunciations, but I'll take either one.
As long as I call you on time for the supper table, right?
That's right.
Perfect. So I guess we'll start here at the beginning. So how did, when you got into music, was it because of John Denver, or did that come later? And then, were you always into music as a musician, and then people started telling you, hey, you kind of look like John Denver and sound like John Denver, or was it John Denver from the get-go for you?
Well, back to the beginning. When I was a small boy, I just decided that I needed to be a drummer. So I started pulling all the pots and pans out of the cupboard and making my own little drum set. And so after I had beeped everything in the kitchen, my parents said, maybe we should get him a drum set. So I played drums all through school, jazz band, marching band, stage band. And then I joined a rock band when I was in my teens.
Okay.
And I was the lead singer and the drummer. So that's how it started. I always loved music. Later on in life, I started picking up the guitar a little bit, and because I loved to sing and I wanted to be able to accompany myself. I got married and had kids, and all the music kind of went on the back burner. And then I went to Laughlin, Nevada after my kids grew up. I wanted to get back into music, and I went down there and I entered this contest. It was an international singing contest. I qualified in Washington State, and they flew me down there. I was one of the finalists, and that's where I sang a John Denver song. Met a couple people that knew him personally. I'd worked with him, and they said, "Man, you look so much like John. It's creepy, and your voice is very similar. So, have you ever thought about doing a tribute show?" I said, "Well, I'm more of a rock and roller, but I don't know. Anything's possible."
Sure.
And, man, I couldn't stop the ball from rolling once it started.
Okay.
And that's kind of how it started for me.
Kind of like when you say drummer and then musician, all I think of is a Dave Grohl-esque type. Of course, Dave Grohl kind of got famous in Nirvana as the drummer, and now Foo Fighters, starting his own band, music songwriter. He's gone on to do much bigger than that. But yeah, kind of the same thing where your drums got you into it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I still love my drums. Still play my drums once in a while.
So what's what I can imagine being a lead singer from a drum set. I mean, because it's all about breath control and everything with singing. But as far as physical exertion, I can imagine the drums are probably that instrument. That's got to be tricky to pull off lead vocals and drumming at the same time.
It is something that you have to master your instrument so you don't even have to think about it.
Gotcha.
And then sing. I remember when I first started doing it was very difficult.
Yeah.
But after a couple of years of playing 4, 5, 6 hours a day, every day, it just becomes natural. You don't even have to think about it anymore.
Probably makes you better at both.
Dedication.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think it makes you better at both there. So when people started telling you, hey, you kind of look and sound like John Denver, I mean, was he like from there? Did it kind of force you to say, you know what, I need to take a deeper dive into the life of John Denver, or were you pretty well versed on it, before you decided to make the tribute show and do what you're doing here?
Well, when I first started doing the tribute show, I actually was not a guitar player. I was a drummer.
Okay.
I did tracks. I played the tracks for most of the show. And then some of the songs I would play, I learned a few chords. And then my wife's like, if you're going to keep doing this, you really got to learn how to play that guitar. And so I really had to dive into that. And then I got to work with Steve Weisberg, who was John's lead guitar player from 1973 to 77. And he helped me tremendously learning all those guitar licks, Rocky Mountain High. And that's very difficult to play that and sing that at the same time. That took me a lot of hours.
Gotcha.
But I did dive into the life of John. I did go to Aspen, and I went to the Memorial Park, and I went to Windstar when Windstar was still going, and I did get to sing for his mother, Irma, and I got to meet his brother Ron. Wow. I got to learn a lot about John as a person.
Okay.
And I was really amazed at what an amazing human being he was, and how much he did for other people, and how much he gave.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, his impact on the world probably was as much off stage as it was on stage.
Yeah, certainly. The Foundation Wind Star, where he helped to develop solar power and wind power way back in the day. His work with Jacques Cousteau and educating people about cleaning up the ocean way ahead of his time. All the things that he did for the vets. A lot of people don't know that he put a lot of money into doing camps for injured vets, people that come back from war and missing limbs and legs. They had ski camps, and he did a lot for other people.
Sure.
World Hunger Project. I mean, it just goes on and on.
Yeah. Well, you speaking of his support of vets, that kind of also, I would imagine, ties into his Roswell connection, which you're very aware of, and we've talked with a lot of people that live here that John Denver has a Roswell connection back when Walker Air Force Base was still here active. His father was stationed at that base, so their family spent time here back in that time, and so John Denver, can call Roswell home, and so, and I imagine because his father and had the military, kind of growing up as a brat, I'm sure that influenced his love of veterans and things like that too. So that kind of ties in with some more of the philanthropic side of him.
Yeah, certainly. The song that he wrote, This Old Guitar, he tells a story about how, because he had to move all the time being an Air Force brat, that the guitar helped him to make friends. He found that when he played the guitar and sang, people would come around and want to meet him and know him, and so it was a great thing for him to have that, and helped him develop as a young man.
Sure, and I imagine it helped him meet, because then they say a lot of guys learn guitar to meet women. That's kind of the rule of thumb.
Yeah, and that's one of the lines in the song. This old guitar gave me my lovely lady.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, does your time pretty much devoted to doing the John Denver tribute, or do you still get to kind of work on your own stuff, your rock and roll side of you?
I do both.
Okay.
I would say my touring schedule is very busy. So I've done a couple tours in Australia, 6-week tours with the Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson tribute.
Oh, wow.
They called it Kings of Country. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time on the road, but I still love my rock and roll. And in fact, I'm working on another record here. And I'm going down to Florida to do a few shows and meeting up with a bass player and steel guitar player. And then I do start the project of working on an original record.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. Well, then I got to ask this. Now that you like you said, you grew up a rocker, and John Denver wasn't really, the style of music you were into. So let me ask you this. Now where you're at in your life, is it fair to say that whatever you produce now, you cannot help but have John Denver influence it a little bit?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that happened to me as a singer and as a person. These songs, Back Home Again, Annie's song, Sunshine on My Shoulders, Thank God I'm a Country Boy, Rocky Mountain High. Mm-hmm. These songs have become my mantra, and they're good songs about real life experiences, and it's really changed my life. And as far as singing rock and roll, mm-hmm. a lot of it's kind of, for instance, I did Led Zeppelin, The Who, Rush, those kind of mm-hmm. artists. And there's a lot of screaming. It's not not necessarily just screaming, but rock and roll as far as that goes, Robert Plant.
Sure.
A lot of that stuff is. But learning to sing like John and have that voice control and really put a lot of emotion into the songs, put your heart into it, I think it made me a much better singer.
And then just his ability to do that and make it look effortless, if that's the, you know what I mean? Some singers, like you can tell they're working. Other singers are working, but it looks like it's a breeze for them. And I always felt like John Denver was that kind. You know what I mean? Just
oh, certainly.
Yeah, he just could whip this out of his hat. It's with effortless. Where I'm sure that's not the case, but he's very good at making it look that way.
Yeah, it's I think that he just had such a great natural ability. Some people are just born to be singers.
Sure.
And it's just in their soul. And I believe that about John, for sure.
Sure. So I got to ask, with doing the tribute show, I mean, now do you feel like you have to look a certain way all the time now to keep with that? Or is it kind of like your own personal life? How much does that impact your own personal life as far as, because anytime you play someone else and people see you, they expect a certain thing and it's easy to almost lose your own identity in that sometimes. Does that impact you personally in any way like that?
Oh boy, does it ever. I have to tell you this, but I'll go to the grocery store and I'll have my beanie hat on and in my sweatpants and I'm out jogging and people, did anybody ever tell you look like John Denver?
No, never.
I mean, it never stops. But, I get, and people say, doesn't that bother you? It doesn't. I don't really mind at all because, it's what I do.
Sure.
I love my job. It's not like, I spend an hour putting makeup on and trying to look like this person. And the two guys that I toured with in Australia, they spend at least 30, 40 minutes doing hair and makeup and, trying to look.
Sure.
I just don't have to do that.
That's awesome.
They say everybody in the universe has a doppelganger. Somebody that they look like. There's somebody out there that looks just like you.
Yeah.
And so I just came this way. Well, did you get your, did you have to, do some plastic surgery or how did you, no, I didn't.
I just put on a flannel and a hat and some glasses and here I am.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's because when I saw the promotional poster for the event here, and I just thought it was John Denver, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's not John Denver. I just assumed, they got a picture of John Denver here, and then no, that's not John. That's dead.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
It's all over the internet too, and people call me, hey, did you see this on the internet? They're selling T-shirts with your face on it, and it says John Denver. I'm like, oh, not again. People say you have to stop this. This isn't right. I'm like, how? I don't have any control over what people do.
Sure.
I put my face on a record and sell it. Bootleggers. It's all over the internet.
Yeah, man.
And I'll contact them. I'll say, hey, you're gonna have to, obviously you're not hooked up with Charlie Music, it's John's estate, so you need to stop.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I mean, I don't want people, because people are like, oh, I just bought your shirt. It's so cool. I'm like, that's not, no, I'm not selling that. That's not me. No.
Sure.
Yeah.
Running out of time, but I do want to ask one more question here before we remind everybody again. Like you said, you've met with some of the family and talked to them. Did you feel like you had to get like a blessing from them or did they give you one? I mean, was there any of that where they kind of, like give you the nod of like, yes, you can be John, was there any of those kind of moments where it felt like that you had to like be that for them, or was, like interacting with the family, how was that, how was that taken? How was their, interaction with you and how you were with them?
They were very warm.
Yeah.
They were very inviting. And I think the biggest compliment I got was from one of John's uncles, and Abe, and he said, I really appreciate what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, keeping John's memory alive.
Awesome.
Playing his music. These songs really hit the heart, and people miss him, and they enjoy going back in time and reliving good memories.
Good.
And that's what I bring.
I'm awesome. I was glad because sometimes it could go either way where, if especially, we lost him at such a young age and things. And so I didn't know if like seeing you brought up memories they weren't ready to relive again sometimes. You know what I mean? You never know sometimes when you come across people, whether they're still grieving or, you know what I mean? So I'm glad to see that they kind of embrace that. That's awesome.
Yeah. I had one lady come to me after the show and she said, I hadn't listened to John Denver since he passed until I came to see your show. She said, I needed to break that bondage, whatever. And she said, and she was just crying and said, thank you for what you do. And I feel like there was some healing that happened. So I know a lot of people grieved his death, and still,
sure,
I mean, he was very young, very much loved, and I think will be all through time, because good songs never die.
Absolutely, and but you also wonder too is I think maybe the fact that of his untimely death cemented him that much harder, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's because now we know we're never going to get anything of this caliber again. We need to cherish it more. Therefore, it makes him more revered. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. I definitely believe that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
well, Ted, I do appreciate you spending some time with us here. Don't forget, show's coming up here February 19th. It's one night or one day only, 2 shows, 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock. It's going to be at the Roswell Community Theater. Great news is this is a fundraising event. The Roswell Kiwanis Club and the Community Theater, the proceeds from the concert all will benefit, half will benefit the Kiwanis Club. They're using that money to build an all-inclusive park, the first one here in Roswell. And then the Community Theater, they gotta pay to fix that roof above their heads there. They've got some leaking issues and things, and it's not cheap to replace that big commercial building roof. So that's what the funds are going for. But they've got reserve seating is $30. You can also get the VIP experience for $40. Which I would go ahead and do that, because every seat in the theater is an amazing seat. You do get preferred seating with the VIP. That's not really the draw. What I think the draw would be is you kind of get access to the VIP room where they're going to have, drinks and snacks for you to visit. And during like an intermission, you can go in there and mingle and things. You do get to meet Ted prior to the show, and you can have a few minutes with Ted here before he goes on. That's all part of it too. But get your tickets at roswelltheater.com, or you can call 575-513-8119. Ted, is there anything you wanted to mention before we let you get back to it?
I just want to say it's a really fun show. It's a family-oriented show. I typically get kids up on stage for Grandma's Feather Bed, and it's just a lot of fun.
Good.
So I'm really looking forward to getting to Roswell.
Be ready to have a good time and learn a little bit about John Denver as well. And like you said, bring the whole family. It's a family, fun, friendly show. And I think this is a great way to expose younger kids to the music of John Denver and really the history of music and getting them exposed to that. So bring them out. They're going to have a good time. Good deal. Well, Ted, appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you here on the 19th.
Sounds great. Sounds good.
Awesome.
There you go. Mike Winters and Mr. Ted Vigil going to be performing live this Saturday with 2 shows, 2 p.m., 7 p.m. at the Roswell Community Little Theater. Get your tickets now. $30 reserve, $40 VIP. Get those tickets by calling 575-513-8119. That's 575-513-8119. 38 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's pause and get you up to date with some local news.
Now for a Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. A former southern New Mexico private school principal is now charged with sexually abusing a minor and allegedly trying to groom other children. Alamogordo police arrested Trevor Lavalace, this acting director of the Legacy Christian Academy, for the alleged assault of a 12-year-old child. A judge is expected to hear pretrial motions in the case by the end of this week. The New Mexico Department of Transportation announcing it'll be offering in-person car seat inspections from nationally certified child passenger safety technicians in Eddy County this week. The inspections from 10 a.m. to noon on Thursday at the Artesia Fire Department and from 3 to 5 p.m. on February 19th at the Carlsbad Police Department. Correct use of child safety seats has been shown to decrease the risk of death by an estimated 70% for infants and 54% for children. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Waking up on the right side. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
This investigation's taken 3 years of my life. Everything we've ever reported, our ensemble cast of amazing people, we got right. And now it's worse than what we thought. Now, if you compare this to Watergate. Watergate's like going to nursery school or kindergarten. This is graduating from Harvard Business School in terms of what the Clintons did and how the media mob went with nothing but a lie to spy on not only a campaign, but on a president of the United States. Far worse than Watergate. And now the question is, will the media mob start reporting what really happened?
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Hey, remember the saying, if you love something, set it free? If it doesn't come back, it was never yours to begin with? Well, when it comes to your identity, folks, LifeLock does not think so. All these nights working overtime, saving up all that money, paying off all that debt, and now some identity thief wants to try and set it free. Now it can be dangerously simple and easy to steal your identity and make your life miserable, and that's why LifeLock by Norton helps to monitor your information. They will alert you to any potential identity threats. If you are a victim of identity theft, you will get a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist that will be there to help fix it for you. No one company can prevent all identity theft or monitor every transaction of every business, but with LifeLock by Norton, you can protect your good name. You get an additional 25% off their low annual rate. Call 1-800-LifeLock. Go to LifeLock.com. Use the promo code Hannity. That's 25 additional % off. LifeLock.com, 1-800-LifeLock, promo code Hannity.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. You burn more calories sleeping than you do watching television. For the ultimate workout, fall asleep in front of the TV. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 19 minutes away from 10 o'clock on this morning without Mike Winters this Tuesday morning. Hopefully, Mixmaster Mike Winters be back inside your radios tomorrow morning, barring any kind of continued illness. But in the meantime, well, you got the runner-up. Let's get you a check with the local weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Gusty wind for the next couple of days as a pretty strong low-pressure system moves through our area. Little blowing dust will be possible this afternoon. Otherwise, sunny. We'll be in the upper 70s. Clear tonight, down to the upper 30s. And then some gusts up to 45 or 50 miles per hour on Wednesday. Sunny and our high in the upper 60s. Cooler and partly sunny on Thursday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. 18 minutes away from 10 o'clock. Currently 50 degrees. Humidity at 20%. Winds out of the south at around 7 miles an hour. The dew point of about 10 degrees. Looking at windy day around Roswell Way. 79 degrees. Mostly sunny skies. Winds out of the southeast 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southwest 15 to 25. Gusts up to 35 for today. Mostly clear. 38 for the overnight low. And back to sunshine. 69 tomorrow. But the winds once again going to be a-blowing 20 to 30 miles an hour, gusts out of the southeast, winds up to 45 miles an hour for your Wednesday. For Wednesday night, partly cloudy with a low of around 30 degrees, breezy with a west wind 20 to 25, becoming north after midnight winds, could get as high as 35. Then a 20% chance of snow showers before 11 a.m. Mostly sunny, high of around 48 for your Thursday. Breezy, winds 15 to 25, gusts up to 35. Back to 61 for your Friday, 65 for Saturday, 73 for the high on Sunday. You know, I grew up 80s, early 90s, and there was a certain trope in sitcoms that I always used to laugh at. Like if you ever watched like Full House, Family Matters, shows like that, they always had to have a lesson. Like, I don't know if it was like a thing from like the network or what, but they always had to have some kind of like moment at the end, right?
Yeah.
Well, I had this thought like right as the morning show was starting, where basically it's like I feel like I have to have that moment with this audience. Because I mean, well, you know,
where's the laugh track?
Dad's out, so it's just I feel like, you know, hey champ.
Yeah.
Hey buddy.
Hi.
You doing okay there, bud?
I don't know.
You look a little sad.
Yeah.
Is it because Dad's not here?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, champ, I just wanted to take a second and let you know that your dad's here. Right here.
Right here?
Inside here. Even though he can't be with us right now, he's always going to be with us. Right here.
I mean, he'll be back tomorrow, right?
He'll be back tomorrow or the next day. He'll be back one day.
Hopefully.
We know he'll be back one day. We just have to hold out hope that he's going to make it through. Hey, champ?
Yeah?
Love you, buddy.
I love you too.
Now go play. Sorry. I had that pulled up literally since before the morning show. Like the music started playing during the first ramp up. I was like,
I didn't think you were going to drop that on me. Dang.
I got to get some leverage out of this.
I was about to laugh the entire time.
But yeah. So hopefully Mixmaster Mike back inside your radios tomorrow. In the meantime, you got Stepdad. I'm actually glad you came in because I have a question. This is something that's been bothering me for a long, long time. Okay. So they just recently announced the new season of Better Call Saul. Yes, season 6, the final season.
I've just been thinking about watching Breaking Bad in general.
Have you not?
No.
Dude,
okay.
No, it's not okay. Champ?
It looks fun.
Listen, buddy, it's not okay. I have the whole thing on DVD if you ever want to borrow it. Like it's the box set with like the extended episodes, the commentaries, all the good stuff. It was a gift. Actually, it was a Valentine's gift from like 7 years ago. But I digress. So the new season of Better Call Saul is coming out. It's the last season, and there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of conversation about what this season's going to entail. But one thing they hit on, one thing they have teased at, and I had a feeling they were going to do this. And when they did, I'm like, okay, there's got to be a logistic reason behind it. And you've done film work.
Yeah.
So I figure you might have maybe some insider knowledge as to why they do this.
Okay, give me the scoop.
Why? Why are they splitting it up into 2 seasons? It's one season of programming. It's one block season. They already have it in the can. It's done.
Because it drives you nuts.
Why must they break it up into 2 parts? I never understood that.
So is it going to be 2 parts with two different sets of episodes?
Yeah, I have a feeling. And they did this. They did this with the last season of Breaking Bad.
Panning it out is what they're doing. Padding.
It's milking it for all it's worth. But it's dry. It drives me nuts.
You can't really do anything about it other than not watch it.
I need answers. I need solutions. Here's the thing. Now, not to give too much away about Better Call Saul, because I know you haven't watched Breaking Bad, but Better Call Saul is a prequel.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, doesn't he make it?
Yeah, exactly. But everything that happens in Better Call Saul leads up to the events in Breaking Bad. But
right, which I'm sure there's going to be cameos towards the end.
But there's characters in Better Call Saul that don't exist in the Breaking Bad universe.
Meaning?
We've got one season to figure out what happens to these characters before we get to the events of Breaking Bad.
Well, they don't necessarily have to die.
No, they don't. That's the thing, is they don't have to die.
But they won't necessarily be participating in the next chapter.
But to have never referenced them, something has to have happened.
Yes.
That's so dramatic that made this character who's likable in Saul, or in Jimmy in Better Call Saul, into the sleazebag in Breaking Bad. It's a weird juxtaposition, and I can't wait to see what Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould are going to do. But so that's my question, though. There's not like a logistic reason behind it.
Well, no,
for like production reasons, they don't need.
It's not even production reasons. They're just doing it to do it.
It's just
now if they shot it and couldn't shoot it because of COVID or something, and everything was broken up into pieces because of that. Like, we only had this much done, so we're going to release this when we're finished with it. Because we don't necessarily know how we're going to finish it, too. That's the other part.
That could be.
They don't know how they're going to finish it, so they're like, okay, so we're going to break it up into 2. We know this is what we want for this, but not for this part.
Right. And actually,
which they're not going to just out and say that.
You could be onto something with that, because with the
that
internet,
makes more sense,
with the internet being a thing, I mean, spoilers are everywhere. Maybe they don't want to. They did that sort of with Breaking Bad, in that they filmed like 6 different endings just to throw people off. Yeah. But it was all just to throw people off from the official. So I'm curious kind of how they're going to do this, but the questions that remain to be answered as far as like this season is there's 2 specific, like very specific characters that don't exist in the Breaking Bad universe.
It'd be funny if they shot the second part live.
Oh right, yeah,
just did it all live.
Did it all on stage, improv'd it. That would be
that'd be a feat. At least the last episode would be a feat.
To do it in Breaking Bad style, that would be next to impossible. I'd be amazed. But yeah, as soon as I found out that they're doing this in 2 parts, it infuriates me. And they do this all the companies do this all the time. They did this with Breaking Bad. Walking Dead is another one that's constantly being released in parts, and I know how infuriated that fan base gets. So I mean, it's just a cash grab.
Mm-hmm.
It's just to pad it out. And in fairness, I guess the actors get to keep their SAG cards a little longer, which is cool. But
What, do you think they have to give them back?
I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I thought you'd keep them.
I'm not in the business.
I think you technically get your card
Well,
if you have a speaking line.
Yeah, but I think if you don't work for a period of time, it lapses.
Yeah, but you still could keep the card. I mean, it's not like they're going to take it back and say you're
just
you're
like
not.
you could keep.
You
the
were never in SAG. Sorry.
You can keep the plastic hotel key, but it's not going to get you back in the room.
Yeah, well, unless you remagnetize it.
Fair enough.
You could walk into the building and type a few numbers.
Yeah.
Slide it. There you go.
Man, dude, as soon as I saw, because as soon as I saw the teasers, because it was just a few teasers, and they didn't give away much.
Yeah.
But some of the tie-ins, I'm being the nerd that I am, immediately jumped on YouTube and found there's a guy on there named Vivid Kiwi, and he covers like all things Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. But
I'm sure it was broken down.
It's broken bad.
You see twisters in the background and
yeah. No, dude, if you get into the iceberg of Breaking Bad lore, there's some stuff that, like, I mean, I don't want to give anything away because I know I want you to watch it, but there's stuff like certain characters weren't supposed to make it out of the season that are like major characters in the arc of the series. They weren't even supposed to live past the finale of season 1.
Huh.
But the story dictated that character stick around for a few more episodes. They endeared themselves to the fans, and they wrote him in.
I like the memes.
Yeah, the memes are fantastic.
I think the memes are great, and it's like, I haven't even seen the show.
But to fully appreciate the memes, you have to watch the show. And I say this because...
But I get the dynamic between Walt and Jesse, though.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's easy to break that down.
That's the thing. You get part of the dynamic between Walt and Jesse because it's a layered thing. Because, yes, there's a father-son element to it, but there's also... Walt trying to recreate the relationship he never had with his son while he's still got his son who's right there, who's being neglected. Yeah. There's the fact that Jesse is a people pleaser, and so he's just constantly trying to make his father figure. But there's so many different like layers to all of it, and so much different complexity to it, which I'm fascinated by. But to fully understand the memes, you have to watch the show. And I say this because I just joined a Bluey memes page.
Bluey.
Bluey. Parents everywhere within the sound of my voice just cringed. Bluey is an Australian kids series about a family of animated blue healers. It's adorable. It's a cute show. It's one of the few that I actually...
Do they have accents?
Oh, incredibly thick Australian accents. That's why I started saying wackadoo, because that's what Chili says in the show. But it's on constantly. So it's one of those things where it's like parents, in order to cope with the struggles of our kids watching this on a loop, we've taken to the internet to make fun of it in meme form.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's great. It's like you find this little community and you can kind of nestle in. I love Facebook, group pages because you can kind of like nestle into your little niche community.
Is Bluey the thing now?
Yeah, Bluey's totally the thing.
Why?
Just because it's entertaining, it's fun.
But I mean, like, how did your kids discover the Bluey?
Disney
Plus.
Yes.
Okay.
It was. Well, it was.
And you were just like
programming. They saw it. Okay. They saw it on TV. They liked the characters, and they went with it. Yeah, it's the shows.
So they did discover it themselves. You didn't play it for them.
No. I wouldn't choose this.
Well, I mean, you're just scrolling through, and you're just like, dude, that looks decent. Bluey, yeah, sure.
I'm this close to getting my son into Spider-Man. Ooh. Like you would think it wouldn't be a hard sell. He's a 3-year-old boy. He likes boy stuff. He likes trucks and dinosaurs and stuff.
I wasn't into superheroes really.
But I got him watching. I turned on Spider-Verse the other day, and I had him to where he was almost in for like a good 30 minutes of it.
Look, son, Kingpin.
He sort of fell out after a while. Well, yeah, I like the story. I want him to get into stuff that I like to watch, so I'm not stuck watching Bluey and stuff like that. But I digress. But yeah, Bluey has become the bane of my existence.
You just need to watch it, and they just have to be in the room. And if they go, "What's that?" and it's like, "Oh, no, it's nothing."
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It's only the best thing ever.
It's red water. It's fine. But what's funny?
But you don't need to know.
What's funny is they both get uncomfortable with violent scenes. Any kind of like, oh, it's scary. Yet they can, with no problem whatsoever, watch wrestling with me. So even my kids can suspend disbelief that it's fake. Isn't that awesome? 6 minutes away from 10 o'clock. Let's pause and pay a couple of these bills.
It's not real.
Here's your Chavez County Sport. It's still real to me, dang it.
No, they're
Chavez
good
County
athletes.
Sports Report.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. The Goddard Rockets in charge right now in district for the boys basketball schedule. Goddard defeated Portales on Friday night by a score of 60-53. Noah Reese had 15 points. That pushes the Rockets' overall record to 15-9, 4-0 in district. Really, all it takes is one victory, and Goddard wraps up the district championship. They've got Lovington tonight at 7 o'clock. Last time they played, they defeated Lovington on the road by 5 points. Also, the Roswell Coyotes were in action Friday night against the Carlsbad Cavemen. That was in Carlsbad. Carlsbad wins that one 49-31. The Coyotes still looking for that first district victory. They've only got one more chance at it. It'll be at home against Clovis Friday night at 7 o'clock. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Sharply higher open for Wall Street this morning, the market more confident that Russia will not be invading Ukraine after all. Inflation is surging. Wholesale inflation soared 9.7% last month from a year earlier.
In a sign that price pressures remain high at all levels of the economy, the Labor Department says its producer price index jumped 1% from December. Excluding volatile food and energy prices, wholesale inflation rose 0.8% from December and 8.3% from January 2021. Last week, the government reported that inflation at the consumer level soared over the past year at its highest rate in 4 decades.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. It's a busy week for corporate earnings, with Airbnb reporting today, DoorDash checks in tomorrow, and then Walmart on Thursday. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Buying a good, clean, reliable pre-owned vehicle is just about the smartest thing you can do these days. But how do you know it's good, clean, and reliable? Well, just visit your friends at Roswell Ford. Here at the Tailgate Nation, we have over 100 outstanding pre-owned vehicles ready to serve you and your family for years to come. How do you know? Because we put everyone through a rigorous 139-point inspection, and we give you a 3-day money-back guarantee to be sure it's right. These are vehicles you'll be proud to own and thrilled to drive, like a 2015 Ford Fusion Hybrid for just $11,980, a 2017 Ford Escape for just $15,980, and a 2020 Ford Explorer XLT for just $39,980, plus about 100 more that are just as good. Sure, you can get a used car just about anywhere, but you'll only find a selection like this at Roswell Ford. So don't take chances. Come by and see us at Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation at the corner of 9th and Main.
So what am I doing with my tax refund? I'm giving my home a makeover with new furniture from Glenn's. A new living room, dining room, and bedroom. Even a curio cabinet for my elephant collection. Glenn's has beautiful, high-quality furniture that I'll be proud of for years. And Glenn's will deliver it for free. So my tax refund and I are headed for Glenn's. And my home is going to be fresh, bright, and beautiful. Since 1953, people have been coming to Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda in Roswell.
It's a new year, and the progressives in Santa Fe are trying to get their claws into Roswell. Governor Grinch has her best buddy in Roswell running for mayor. In Roswell, we are proud of our families, our industry, our traditions, and our values. We can't let the Santa Fe gang take over our community. In the Roswell municipal election on March 1st, vote to keep Roswell open, to keep Roswell independent, and to keep Roswell free. Let's keep Kintai as our mayor.
This is Dennis Kintai, and I approve of this ad. Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you can call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. Let Do Right do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Have you been dealing with stress or anxiety lately? Don't let that stop you from getting the dental work done that you know needs to happen. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental, and every day we help people just like you have a relaxing and pain-free experience with IV sedation. Just imagine a dental experience where you don't remember the needles or the drills. If that's what you're looking for, we can help. Let us ease your stress and create the best dental experience ever.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main or call 622-4455.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. A group of 12 or more cows is called a flink. If you have only 11 cows, that's called a lot of cow pies. Here's Mike Winters.
That's going to wrap things up from our end. We'll see you tomorrow. Travis and Sexton on their way up next here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Clyde Lewis and Ground Zero is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM.